Yeah,
You playing the music?
yeah, we're just going live. Just hold on, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome everyone to the Blue Stand once again. We're here tonight to discuss the Chelsea Arsenal game, plus a lot of other things regarding Liverpool, what a football director said today about they were asking him questions. We're going to talk about that as well, about David Edwards. Yeah, and let's start with the Arsenal game. Yeah, I know everyone's fed up talking about it
Yep.
because it was such a disgrace. Hold on, dude. Such a disgraceful, performance. Uh, really bad. I've never seen Chelsea Football Club, any Chelsea team play like this, against a major rival since I've been supporting Chelsea. And that's a long way back. Yeah, never seen anything like it. No passion, no fight, no nothing again. We done the same last season against Arsenal. The same thing. We turned up doing the same again. Apart from, I would say, three players. Thiago Silva was up for it. Aspi was up for it, and Aspi, Thiago Silva, and the rest. I don't think anyone was really good. Um, Gallagher, I must say, when he came on, at least he ran around, he tried, he gives 100%, he fights for the badge. But the rest of them were very bad. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, nowhere to be seen. Absolutely invisible. And not just him. A bad decision. Havertz, Havertz, he had a chance to get, so we get the first goal. All he had to do was pass it 7 yards to Aubameyang, who was free in the box. What's he do? He shoots the ball right over. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You have to do it for that sort of money. I'm going to bring you in, Dios. Just hold on a minute. Yeah, and just for all the money we spend on him, it's looking bad. We see glimpses of his brilliance, some great goals. Then we all so oh yeah, he's going to be good. Then the next game, the same rubbish. Sterling didn't do much. Yeah, in his right position, but he hardly done anything. Really bad players we have a bad team at the moment, and I'm dreading going into the next two games. Our last two games before the World Cup, Man City in the League Cup on Wednesday, and Newcastle away on Saturday. And if they perform like we did yesterday, we're going to get slaughtered by both of them. So let's see what they do, but doesn't look good. Yeah, we're going to discuss the game more when everyone comes on. We're going to have ratings. Well, they don't deserve any ratings, really, most of them, but we still have to give them a rating. Yeah. Yes, let me welcome Deals CFC. He's with me right now. Hi, Deals. How are you?
Hi, Nick. I'm good, Nick. Considering
Good.
what happened yesterday, I was a bit upset. I was disgusted from the performance that we gave out yesterday. Nick, there's a few issues going on. I reckon behind the scenes, a lot of issues.
Yeah, a lot
But
of
that
issues.
doesn't, considering what's
Yeah,
going on behind the scenes, that that whatever was going on behind the scenes doesn't take away the fact we should still play we should still play for the badge. Now there's a lot of things going on about the first half. The first half was poor. like the second half. Like they were, the both halves were poor. Both halves were poor.
Very,
Like if you look, if you
very poor.
analyze, if go on, go on, go on.
Well, no, carry on, carry on. I'm just
If you
saying very
analyze
poor. You're
from
right.
the goalkeeper, from the defense to the midfield to the attack, everything was shut down. You know why? Do you know why? Do you really want to know why that was? It's because our midfield was isolated. Yeah,
Yeah, our
isolated.
midfield. I was going to mention that deals, but it doesn't work. Jorginho and Ruben that never works together. Pola should
No.
have known that. Pola is to
Yes.
blame a bit. He is to
Yeah.
blame. He got it wrong again. He got it wrong against Brighton. He's got it wrong again. But if you watched him, what he said after the game, he didn't put any players down. He didn't mention one
Yeah.
player didn't play well. And you
Yeah.
know why? Because he's new. He's
Yep.
new at the club, and he can't
Yep.
afford to lose the players right now. Because if he
Yeah.
does, he'd be out before the season ends. So
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you were saying, but I guarantee later during when we come back from the World Cup, when we come back and he has a January window to get a couple of players
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
he
It's
he,
like
he thinks we
it's like
need,
it's like
it would change.
Mendy was like every time Mendy was on the ball, it's like the fans were panicking. It's like it was a
Oh yeah, I
panic
was
station when Mendy
exactly
was on the ball. But like
always.
again, Mendy and Kepa, they're two different players. They're not the same players. Now, my facts on Mendy, they're two different. You know, they're what their best what's that word, attributes? Yeah, the best
Yes, yeah.
attributes, what they do best and what they don't do best. Now, what you can see the difference of Kepa. Kepa have saved that goal that we conceded?
We're not to know that, but it was a Mendy's fault. That was our
Yeah,
defense. I don't know how that
yeah,
happened. Straight from a corner,
yeah,
there was
yeah,
four of them there, and they all missed the ball somehow. They couldn't,
yeah,
touch the ball, get it out, just pick it out, anything. Mendy was in no man's land as well, but it was hard for
yeah,
him to save it because it was so unexpected. Anyone would have thought, it would a
yeah.
Chelsea player would have got to it. Unbelievable! What a goal to lose by, but we
Yeah,
deserved
yeah.
it. We're lucky it
No,
was
but for
1-0.
real, but
Could have been,
you know another thing as
could have
well.
been,
Right? Yeah,
yeah,
another thing
yeah,
as well, Nick. Yeah, because I was sitting in Matthew Harden end. I was at the Matthew Harden end. It didn't feel like the crowd was jumping. It didn't feel electric. It did not feel like that. But maybe do you know why that
and you know
is?
why?
I
Because
I
we
know
didn't
why.
come out. We didn't. Yeah, go on.
I
You
know
tell me
why it
first what
is
you think.
because our fan base knew these bunch of players are not doing it for us right now. Maybe that's the
Yeah,
reason why.
yeah. That is a reason. Another reason is the way we
Yeah,
come out. We came out, and it's like we
yeah,
didn't. It was Arsenal
y-
straight away. So
yeah,
how are the fans going to get behind that team when they
yeah,
can't get the ball, or when they get it, they lose it straight away and give it to
yeah,
Arsenal? How? How? That's impossible. Our fans, can make a massive noise, more noise than anyone in the world.
yeah,
But the way these players are playing, they put the fans really, down. The fans are depressed at the moment, very depressed. I don't blame
yeah,
them. I'm the same.
yeah.
I did not go to the game yesterday, but I saw the game
I
live. But
bro, when I
I know
when I was
I
going
know
back on
what
the
it's
train,
like. Yeah, hold
Nick,
on,
when
deals.
I was going back on the train,
You know, yeah,
it just made me angry, bruv. It made me angry when I was going back on the train. I was just
absolutely
angry.
dead. Yeah, it wasn't even nothing to talk about except the so bad performance we showed. For me, it was a disgrace what they showed, complete
Yeah,
disgrace, because we had
yeah,
weaker teams in the past, and they never let us down when we played a big team. Even in the second division, we played Liverpool in the cup. I'll never forget. I was there, and we beat them 4-2 as a Division
yeah,
Two side. We show this team, these players at the moment. doesn't look like they're even interested,
No.
except for 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know, because it's true. It doesn't look like it.
Do you think Potter? Let me ask you a question, Nick. Do you think Potter's
Mm,
rushing the formations at certain games because of
well,
oppositions? Because I think that
he doesn't. The
he is.
problem is, it's not about rushing. Problem is he doesn't know what the right formation is for these players. That's why he keeps changing, chopping, changing. He can't get the
Yeah,
right 11. Look at Arsenal, same 11 every week, and they perform.
yeah.
It shows on the pitch how first time football, even second time, is so quick. Like we were. Arsenal are the team we used to be right now, and we're the
I don't
Arsenal of
think
old.
so. I don't think so. I don't
Why?
think so.
What do you think?
I don't respect them. I don't respect them. The reason why I
Yeah,
don't
but they
respect
are
them.
playing. They're playing like we used to,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we
But
have
you
to
can say
admit it.
that. You can say that.
And where
You
we're
can
not,
say that.
where we're not.
Yeah, but mate, Nick.
Yeah,
You can say that. Yeah, you can say that.
okay.
But they're not doing it over a consistent basis. Like West Sea come business end of the season where they are, because I don't think they're gonna be where they are. You get me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not saying that. I'm not saying they're going to win the league. Uh, they could make top 4 the way they're going. Yes, I can say that now. I didn't say that before, but I'm saying it now because they are looking very good. As much as we hate them, as much their rivals, they are looking good, like we used to. That's a problem. And the other thing, when I was listening today, I heard, since in the Champions League draw, we play Borussia Dortmund. Won't be easy. We play at their ground first, and our football director, the person was the English guy, David. What's his name? David Edwards. Not Edwards. Let me just get his right. Is his name right? Sorry. Come on, um, yeah, yeah, yeah. What's his name? Yeah, yeah. David Bernard. Sorry, what am I saying? Completely got his name wrong. David Bernard, the football negotiations director we have. They were asking him, yeah, this Dortmund press, there were, people in the press, Spanish reporters and everyone, they were saying to him, uh, so what do you think of your chances against Dortmund with this team right now? Because it doesn't look good, he said to him. He said, by the time we play Dortmund, we're going to have a January window. He said we have the World Cup to come back from, and don't talk too soon. He goes soon because in a way he was trying to say Chelsea will be back. Chelsea will spend big money in January. That's what he meant. So that's a good sign.
I'm
Pretty
concerned.
new about
I'm
that.
concerned.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not
concerned, Nick.
concerned because what is why
Yeah, yeah. Well, if
with
that is
this team?
true, Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nick.
that is true.
My concern is, yeah. My concern is we're gonna spend more
Mhm.
money. Yeah, we're gonna spend more money, and there's more pressure on Potter, right? Now, if he it's matter how we spending the money, where we spending the money. Like if we getting these players, yeah,
Yeah,
and they come in and they don't thrive, yeah, expectation. Now,
yeah.
say
But
for
the thing is, yeah, go on.
you're go on. Say for
Yeah,
instance,
carry on.
yeah, in
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
games
I
where we
just want to
don't
say
turn
what he
up,
meant. Yeah, but what
in
he's trying
certain
to
games where we
say,
don't turn up, go on.
the
When we get
team
these,
we have is no good. He didn't want to. He can't say that, but that's what he's saying. The players we have here, they're not Chelsea material, and we're going
yeah, they're
to
not.
we're not just going to buy players. We have to sell. We're going to have a big sell out this
Yeah,
January in the summer. We're going to see a lot of players go. It's going to be a new team. The players who are going to stay will be the young players. Will be like not all of the Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I don't know. I don't think there's a future for him. There'll be players
no.
like Gallagher staying, Roja, uh,
Well, Kai
Chukwemeka,
Havertz, do
all these
you think
youngsters.
Havertz goes? Do
Havertz,
you
I'm
think
not
Havertz
sure.
goes?
Havertz could go if we get a replacement. They're not. They can't let go of everyone until we get the players in. He's trying to say, and I think that's what we're going to do.
Mm,
Yeah.
no, I hear that. But
So
my
let me
stance.
walk.
You know my stance. Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
I want to spend the
Yeah,
money. I want to see. No, I want to see Todd Bowley spend the money correctly. Like I don't want him to
mm.
spend the money like on some mad
Yeah.
prices.
No,
Like,
he
because
no,
that's what we.
by the time we come back from the World Cup, we will have a football director, a proper scouting system again, and they're going to they will make the club better. Bowley, he's the owner. He can do.
So
What he can
you
do.
reckon he's giving Potter time? You reckon he's
Yeah,
gonna
he
give
will.
Potter time? I don't think so.
Yeah, because Potter hasn't done nothing yet. He's lost 3 games. That's for Chelsea, it's no good. Yeah,
Yeah,
we understand.
yeah,
But the other thing is,
yeah, but
don't forget
at
when
Chelsea, there's
deals. Wait a
pressure.
minute.
At
Hello?
Yeah, there's pressure. Now, there's pressure for Potter. Knows there's pressure. He said it. He said with Chelsea, it's like I've got after 90 minutes, I don't know, if I'll be here or not. That's how he knows there's pressure. But he's going to get at least, he will get this season for sure, and next season. Next season, he will get to see what he does. This season, we're going to see, where we go. But if he's no good by next season with the players he brings, then it's a different story. Then Bowley will be thinking about a new manager, but not right now. Don't forget that he's got 5-year contract. They're giving him a chance to rebuild Chelsea. Bowley has to rebuild the club. That's what we're at the moment. Yeah, let me bring in Dex and Certify. Hello, Certify. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear, but can you hear me?
Just you're very low. I hear you though. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, what's it called? I'm going on my computer for the first time. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. It's good. It's clear. It's just not as loud as usual, but it's okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Dex, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, cool,
I
cool.
already said we're going to come to Liverpool. The latest news about potential new owners, maybe not. We don't know for sure. I've been hearing a lot of news about that. I'm going to come to you about that soon. Let's go to Certified next, and I'll come back to Dex. Certified, what do you, after you had one day to digest everything? What's your feelings right now?
I'm still annoyed. Look at this
Oh yeah,
YouTube, and
we
then
all know
if you
you.
go, yeah, this
Yeah,
YouTube is full of Arsenal fans just being happy, like seeing how well they dominated us, bro, as if they were Man City. Nah, man, I'm still not happy, yo. I'm not happy. I'm not happy,
Word,
man.
JK.
I'm not happy still. I'm still not happy. Like I'm
uh,
seeing this tactical analysis and to see how poor we are, it hurts. It hurts, man.
yeah,
Especially when we're the ones that's supposed to be dominating Arsenal. And they're doing this to us. Nah, it hurts, man. And it's a London
yeah.
derby.
I know.
And I
Yeah, it
can't
was
believe in a
disgraceful.
London derby,
Yes.
form goes out the window and it shows that no matter what the form, Chelsea will not turn up to any game. Do you get what I'm saying? So what's
Yeah.
going on?
Oh yeah, I know what you're
Do I
saying.
even have hope that we can go on and do something against City? No, even that will probably get knocked out as well. We'll probably get even their second team will probably thrash us 5-0. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, bro,
Yeah,
I, it's horrible, man. And I keep listening to certain Chelsea fans and the ones that are like, and we need to stop backing these players, bro. Like, we really need to stop it. I'm being serious.
One
Let's
hundred
just
percent.
stop
One
this
hundred
stop
percent.
this stand with Mason Mount and Havertz, bro.
Yeah.
bro, we have too much of these fans. Like being stands for players. Bro, I was listening to Lewis this morning and in his live stream, and we have so many stands at this club. Do you get what I'm saying? We just
Yeah.
like to pamper these players, like baby them too much. Mason Mount, one of them, and he's a horrible player. I don't know why he's playing football. He should. And I don't care if I'm harsh. It's the truth, reality. I don't know why Mason Mount is playing football because he shouldn't be a football player. I'm sorry, because of the way you're playing,
Yeah. So
it's
look,
just not
the
Chelsea
problem
quality.
is yeah, he was nowhere to be seen. So you're absolutely right. You know what I
He's
said
nowhere
about
to be
him.
seen. He's nowhere
Nowhere.
to be seen
No.
because he goes out instead of training with the club. What does he do? What does he do? He goes out there and I start swearing crap drip and going out to pubs with Ben Chilwell and Declan Rice. Do you think not
For
only
sure.
him, there's a majority of these players who are like that? Do you get what I'm saying? Tell me each of these players when they play football, do you really think they prioritize football or do you think they really care about playing for the badge? Or do they think about
That
what am I gonna do after
doesn't
this
look
game?
like
What am I
it.
gonna do
Yeah.
on my free time? That's what they think about.
Yeah,
They
you're
don't care about
absolutely right.
Chelsea. And people keep telling us, oh, back our players, back our players, back our players. Why back our players? They don't know you. And if they don't know you and they're not playing for the badge, maybe we'll start backing these players if they start
Yeah.
backing the badge and what
JK's
Chelsea
right,
stand
you know.
for.
Something's going on behind the scenes. He's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
bro, this dressing room is horrible, bro. As well, you can clearly see in the pitch there are players that don't like each other and everything. I wouldn't mind getting the whole lot of them out of the club, bro. I don't care. I don't mind getting everyone out of the club.
Yeah,
Clear that dressing
that's
room
what
full of these
that's
toxic
so it
players.
will
I don't
happen in
care.
the
Sell
end.
Mount, sell Havertz. I don't care,
Yeah.
bro.
Did you
About giving
see
Mount
sort of
time.
like
No, I'm not giving this guy
did
time.
you see yeah, hold on a minute. Did you see what our football director David
Yeah,
Edward
I saw,
you see him
and he's
comment
absolutely right. He's
yeah,
absolutely right,
and that's what's going to happen. You know,
and
we
he's
have to give
absolutely
it to
right.
January.
Yeah,
Forget the
he better
next
get
two
rid of these
games.
players.
You know, forget the next two games after the World Cup. In the January window, we will be getting players. Have the money to get players in. We have to get players in before we let anyone go. So it's going to be,
Yeah, and I'm hearing people were saying Havertz
slowly
was
done.
our best player. Was our best player
Now,
yesterday. Let me
what
tell you
yesterday?
something.
God,
He was our best clown
No,
yesterday. That's all it was.
Aspie was our best player. Aspie
Aspie
was our
what?
best. I was there,
Yeah,
bro,
Aspie
live in the
was.
flesh.
Yeah, he
Aspie
tried
was
his
there.
best with
yeah,
Martinelli.
Aspie
as we
was.
showed fight, as we tried, so did Thiago. Who
Yeah,
Yeah.
else?
Chalobah as well.
Chalobah.
And
Chalobah
Chalobah,
tried.
yeah.
He was,
Jorginho did okay.
but the rest of them, there's three players. The rest, absolutely no
Loftus
heart, no
Cheek as
nothing,
well.
man. It was disgraceful. I just want to
That's
read a few comments before
I
we
have
can get
certain Chelsea
certified.
fans saying that
Deals,
Ruben
hold on.
Loftus-Cheek's a squad player.
Yeah,
No, he's not.
hold on.
No, he's
Who
not.
Loftus
Let
Cheek?
me just hold on. Read some comments people are making before
Yeah,
we
his
go
video
ahead.
is on
Right,
stream.
he's SA Manos last season he was 2-4. Yeah, we know he was worse. He said, but he was
They won't. I never put on camera.
worse. He was worse yesterday. The same rubbish.
Huh?
Hold on, chaps.
You don't have to.
So they've never
Yeah,
seen you before.
certify. Hold
They
on,
seen me before.
certify.
I put my profile picture once on Twitter.
Hold on a
Yeah.
minute. Let me just read these comments once. I won't be long. Yeah, it's Manos again. It's a World Cup disease. Chelsea OG getting home soon. Yeah, I know that. He's got to come and we need to spend money though. We got Newcastle joining the billionaire club and Liverpool will have new richer owners soon too. Could well be good comment. Yeah, everything, Liverpool, we're gonna come to Liverpool in a minute. And Asa Manos, Mendy was already too low. He couldn't react properly. Kepa is more on his toes. 100% agree with Issa Manos there. 100%. You see, Mendy, he even gave the ball away. Could have, easily been. We should have lost 2-3-0, really, but we were lucky. Yeah.
If only Arsenal were clinical.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
hold on, Certify, please. I'm going to let you carry on in a minute. Chelsea, OG, I'm not worried about Arsenal because they will spend the last money out of the top 6 in the coming years. Yeah, I agree with you, OG. And Issei Manos, the last comment here, the squad has the mentality as instilled. The squad has the mentality as instilled. Yeah, good comment. Yeah, the mentality, he's trying to say what's instilled with them with the past managers. That's what he's trying to say. It's a good comment. They haven't got no mentality, like you keep saying, certified. So one more comment. Well, just read this one. Issei Manos again by Tuchel in the preview show. Everybody went on about injuries, but now you're criticizing Potter when picking up injuries game to games. Potter got the formation right, the personnel wrong. J5 and J5 not for AFC. Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, we can. I'm not blaming Potter right now because it's too early. Far from it. He has to get time to get his players.
We can
Hold on,
criticize him though. We
hold
can
on.
for
Yeah,
yesterday's
hold
game.
on. One more comment. Kovacic and Zakaria should have been midfield. Havertz isn't going. He reckons Havertz ain't going to go. We're going to wait and see about that. I don't want him to go. I want him to get better. But we're going to see what they do, these players. Yeah, carry on, certified. Sorry about that.
I'll be very honest with you, Nick. I don't see Havertz getting better. I'm sorry. I think this league is just not for him at all. I'm sorry. It's just like Timo Werner. Timo Werner, he's a good player, but
Yeah.
I saw the difference between Werner and Havertz. I did see that he was brave. Do you get what I'm saying? Trying his best to gel into this league and everything. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out for him. Do you know what I'm saying? It didn't work for him. Timo
Yeah.
Werner. So
It's
just
very
he
hard.
even exactly. And Werner even said it himself, just that the league is just not good for him
Yes.
at the moment. And Havertz even said something like that before. I think it was somewhere early in the system, in the season. I don't know if you realize, but
Mm.
he said this with the amount of. I don't think you get the amount of space. I'm gonna try and find it for you. I remember I did tweet it, and it was the
Yeah.
words from Havertz. I don't know if you remember, guys. He did
Oh
say
yeah,
the Premier League is hard.
you,
Yeah, I read it for you, to
yeah,
you guys in
I
the
remember
space.
that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
he
not.
even said it
It's not
himself.
good what he's
And I
doing.
don't see Havertz being happy at this club. Do you get what I'm saying? Unless he goes to somewhere like City, which will help him a bit more and gives him that support.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying? Because I do not think he's a player that will be able to take on players the way Graham Potter has his players. No way. He's not that brave. I don't see. He's just not brave. Mason Mount, I don't know what he's useful for. I don't know what he's there for. I'm being so real, and I don't know. I don't get the
what
hype.
about Ruben? Ruben
Ruben off
can't
the cheek.
play.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We
I
tried
was
him
about to go back to
right
it.
wing back, it doesn't work. You put him in midfield, it doesn't work. Where the guy is since that big injury he hasn't. He showed up glimpses that he's getting back, but he's not right now. He's
I
just
realized he
getting worse.
performed better under Tuchel, but this explains a lot of things ever since Potter has come. He hasn't got the personnel for
Yeah,
the football he wants to play, and it's clear. All these players they don't suit quick football. And how many
yes,
times do I have to say this over and over again? Maybe certain players do, but just a small minority. Do you get what I'm saying? Our players are used to just wasting time on the ball, making like they don't know they never look up at their options. Hence why we always have to recycle the ball all the time and invite pressure. It's horrible, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? You can say
yeah.
it's the manager,
He is.
this down. Yeah, it is the. You can say it is the manager at times with his stupid decisions. Potter. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know how he
Yeah,
doesn't change things in
he
half
doesn't
time.
know. The problem is certified. The problem is he doesn't know what system these players suit.
That's the
He
thing.
doesn't
That's why I'm
know
not gonna have a go at
his
him
top.
that
He
that
doesn't
much.
know his first 11.
Yeah,
Let me just read
and he
these
doesn't know his
comments.
players
I'll come back
properly.
to. Yeah, hold on, Serapha, hold on a minute, please. Right, yeah. Emma James, I was so sad after the loss. Not sure if I will get the new Chelsea shirt. I don't blame you one bit. I wouldn't get the new Chelsea shirt right now. I will get the old Chelsea shirt, the one I have,
Yeah.
1970s FA Cup shirt, and I wear it with pride.
It must be
I'm proud to have that
expensive.
shirt. I will never wear. Wait a minute. I will never wear number 3 on my back or front. I'll wear the old Chelsea shirt because that's when we had pride and fight and passion. We don't have that now, and I'm fed up with these managers, these players we have performing like 2-year-olds. You know, even 2-year-olds would have done better yesterday. Yeah, so don't get that shirt, Emma, because not yet. Anyway, wait till things get better. Yeah, let's
You know
go
what I'm
to
saying, innit?
what. So, hold on,
Wait,
sir.
just before. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me read the comments first. Yeah, this is for OG. Big up my guy, Chelsea OG.
Big
Your
up, man.
friend here.
Yeah, big up, Jakob. Nice one, Axe.
Yeah. Jakob says, since you stopped appearing on this stream, we started to lose.
Yo, he's so right, you know.
Yeah.
I got, bruv, listen, I got married. I got
OG,
married
we
last
blame
week,
you.
man.
So stop blaming Potter
Yeah.
and the players. We have to blame CFC OG. for that.
Bruv, it's funny you said that. We did do bad. We lost to Brighton as well. But I got married, had a honeymoon period. I've been missing. But I'm back now. I'm back
joking.
home.
Yeah, but it's a good point you made. It's true though. A big up everyone on the panel. Thanks a lot, Jakob, for coming on the show. Yeah, so let's move on to the panel. So if I finish your point and we go to OG,
That person,
Dex, and
yeah,
Stav and Hassan.
yeah, that person who said you don't want to buy the shirt this season, and you saying and Nick saying you'd rather buy shirts of the times when we have players that cared. I don't blame him. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
It's true
if you look
though.
at a derby, like,
I don't
yeah,
wear,
if you look at,
that's the only shirt. I don't wear any new shirt. I have the Autoglass. I had the Samsung shirt, but they're too small
yeah,
for me.
those are the
But
shirts I
that
like to wear.
1970
Samsung.
shirt, that I wear the 1970. You can buy it right now. The 1970 FA Cup final shirt, which is plain, and that's when our great players wore it. Everyone showed fight, passion, and even more. And I don't see that with this team. Not one bit. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, like honestly, bro, like I'd rather buy shirts that when we
Yeah.
had fight. For example, I have a shirt. The time we won the league in 14-15. I went to the game
Yes.
where
Yeah.
I went to the game where
That was our
Chelsea won the league when we beat Crystal
Samsung shirt.
Palace. We lifted up the trophy, my first ever
Yeah.
game. I got a shirt for that, and it says
You
the
see the
champions
Samsung?
behind it. It was a Samsung.
Yeah, we had so many. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Samsung.
at that game. I was
This
very young,
number
but I really
3
liked
is
it.
not since. One more thing. Since we started with wearing this number 3 crap, everything's gone wrong. We should never.
Exactly.
I'm surprised. Paulie said he ain't going to bring number 3 back, but he has. And I hope something happens and we don't get them next year.
No,
It's
he's
not good.
terminating the
The
contract
jinx.
after this year. He's
Yeah,
terminating.
but yeah,
Hey,
like,
Hassan, go ahead.
yeah.
It's in the contract.
Hassan, you wanna go?
So are you,
Yeah,
are
go,
you done
Hassan.
with your point? Oh, I was going to say, I thought he was done with his point anyway. Back to the game,
Yeah.
Arsenal. I just, what can I say about Arsenal, man? It's just boring, same old football. And I've said the year before, I've never ever trusted these players. These players were so crap yesterday. I don't blame people for not watching anymore and having no hope. And it's just weird now. These players are very, very privileged to play for this club. And I'm going to be honest, half of them, I don't even think half of them deserve even Champions League football. Never mind, even Europa League, like these players are just taking a hard earned money and they're showing no loyalty back, no fight, no nothing. And I just don't get these player stance on Twitter. Like, They're so weird. Like they're defending these players. Why defend them? They've scored 5 to 8 goals. I'll be honest with you. The old Cup Winners' Cup team, most of them walk into this team, and I'll be honest, they'd be fighting way better than this. At least they were challenging at one point in the season. Was it like 98, 99, where they're like 4 or 5 points off the top? At least they were challenging for titles and stuff. And yeah, these lot are just so bad. I just want them gone, and I want them gone so badly. I never hated this many set of players in my life, and I think Nick's old enough to say that this is probably the worst squad in the last 25 years. What do you say, Nick?
The worst team. Look at this performance yesterday. I said it before. It's the worst performance I ever seen from a Chelsea team. We played better in the second division with just normal players from the academy. We had, the youth players. They showed more fight. They even went and beat Liverpool when Liverpool had the best team in Europe. We beat them 4-2 at the British in the cup. So it's 79. This team is I don't know what to do. I can't describe it. It's so bad.
Yeah. It's just like.
What's you lot thoughts on Aubameyang going on liking Troops' picture?
Oh, let him do what he wants, bro. He's on a retirement package. There's nothing we can do about him.
He's a clown for doing that, but I swear down, he's a clown.
Yeah, let him be. He's always been a clown, man. But anyway,
can you put? Yeah, it's all right. I can't hear properly because people. Can you put your mics on mute when you're not talking, please? Whoever.
Sorry.
No, you're talking, so you're okay.
Yeah. So I was back to my point. Like, there's no point defending these players. These players don't know who you are. They don't even care. They just earn their money and play football. But a lot of them are just.
Yeah, but they're actually nice guys, man. If you ever meet any of them, they're always willing to sign your shirt.
Listen. You pay me £200,000 a week. I'll be a nice guy, man. I'm sure everyone here would be a nice guy. Look, at the end of the day, bro, you have to be nice to the people that pay to see you, innit? So it is what it is, bro. It's just their job.
I feel you.
Like if they had a £200,000 offer to Madrid, they off to Madrid. These players have zero loyalty to this club, man.
Come on, not all of them, man. I'm sure
defending them, man.
No. I mean, like I said, 3 of them showed any passion yesterday. That was Thiago Silva, Chalobah, and that's
obviously.
Yeah, no one else.
Obviously, there are players that show loyalty, but 90% of them. I'm not saying every single player. Yeah. But I'm just saying that this team does not deserve our battle.
Yeah, no.
They don't
Hassan,
deserve our
battle. We said the same. I agree with you 100%. Every Chelsea fan is saying the same right now. And we can't wait for January to get some players in, go to the World Cup, come back. Hopefully our scouts will see some up-and-coming youngsters, in the World Cup. Like what's his name said today, I don't know if all of you saw, what's his name, David Edwards talking after at the draw for the Champions League. They were asking him a lot of questions about this. He said, we're going to be ready by February. We're going to have a general window. We have a World Cup to go to and come back. So. He's getting, what Bowley. You can see Bowley is so frustrated right now with his team. He wants new players. We will get players, but we have to get rid of quite a few.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm worried how we're going to spend the money. Yeah. That's why I said how we spend the money.
Deals. Did you know that all of our players will be back from the injury list after the World Cup, as long as they don't get injured again during? Because none of them are going to the World Cup.
We're going to have Rich James back.
They're all coming back. Every single one of them, other than Kante. Even Kante was back in February, March. So
yeah.
Yeah,
he'd be close. So things will change, but We just had a very bad start. It could have been worse. We're lucky it's only 3 losses. Could have been much worse. But after Newcastle, it could be worse. Let me just read a few comments and I'll come back to you, lot. Bobby, big up, Bobby, to you. Thanks for saying what you said. You're always a true supporter for our channel. Emma James, don't stop. OG, always stream.
Always.
We will be Chelsea for life. Yeah, great comment. Great comments. That's what I want to hear. You know, we don't want to do the gloom. We want to be. We have to. We are Chelsea fans, and we know this team, this club will get where it belongs at the top. Another comment from Bobby here. Mount and Sterling and Aubameyang need to come off the bench. Broja, Pulisic, and Gallagher for starters. Midfield needs a complete overhaul. Up 100%. You know, anyone disagrees there?
Sterling can start. Sterling can start. I mean, Jorginho has to become.
He's not showing anything.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good comment. I agree with Bob. Yeah.
I mean, I don't
know.
Let's
go. Yeah, but he has to change something. We keep playing this as the same team, all out of form players, Sterling, Mason Mount, Havertz. You're all starting, they're all out of form. If this team plays against Newcastle, we're going to get slaughtered. And at City, let's see. I don't know who he's going to put for City. Oh, and City have 2 teams. Anyone can. Anyone is good. Any one of those 2 teams can really beat us badly. So let's see what
I won't be surprised if we beat City and it just makes us more confused. We'll be like, how the F did we beat City? And we lose all these other games.
No, we can't do that. We are a cup team. We're special at cups. So, I understand what you're saying.
5 finals in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Let's bring Dex in as well. Stav, I'll bring you soon as well. Dex, what's your thoughts? Tell us what you think about the Liverpool situation.
More money.
Looks like they could be going for big donors. What's your thoughts on
that? So first of all, big up to everyone on the stream, obviously. It's good to come on. Yeah, man, the big news. Obviously, when it came out this midday, I didn't believe it at first. I got sent it on a tweet, and then I looked into it a bit more, and then it got more reliable as the hours went on. My whole situation on FSG selling the club. Obviously, we don't know what the actual full intention is. We don't know if they're actually going to do a wholesale club where the whole club's up for sale, or they're looking for a third party investment. There's loads of talks about it, but I don't really know. But I'm obviously quite happy because I'm not a massive FSG fan. Obviously, they've done some good for the club, but most of the time they've made bad decisions, and not really on board with them really. So for them to finally put up this club for sale is a good forward step for really the club and the whole Liverpool supporters really. In terms of where we go from here, really, I think obviously there's been a few potential buyers that's been touted out. Some have been from the Middle East, like Saudis and stuff. FSG had a bid from a Saudi Arabian member of the royal family. They put in a $3 billion offer in.
It won't be allowed. It won't be allowed.
They put a $3 billion offer.
Be American.
Yeah. Well, this is the other thing as well. From what I've read from reliable sources, apparently they're looking to sell the club, but they've brought in 2 US bankers companies to help the process of the club because they don't know how it's going to be diluted into assets and stuff. So we'll have to see how it is. But from my personal opinion, whoever buys the club, whoever comes in, all I want and what I've been and what all Liverpool fans want, we just want an owner that is willing to get on board with what the fans want, which is obviously to compete in the league and the Champions League and get back to where we want to be. Investment in the squad, because that's what FSG have been lacking to do in recent years. They haven't put a lot of investment in when needed. In the summer they didn't do that. We only bought in Nunes, who was a high profile big money signing. That was it. So yeah, like at the end of the day, whoever buys the club is obviously, they have to come in and be on board with it. And yeah, Nick, I highly doubt it's going to be the Ricketts family. I'm not hearing anything from
Yeah,
them.
I was joking. I was joking with you.
Yeah,
You know
you better hope not.
I thought I had to have a joke with you because since I heard the news, I thought, let me send him this picture.
Yeah, but have you noticed that Americans are buying lots of clubs around the world, like all the top ones? Even Barcelona is having a hit. I mean, if Americans own all these big clubs, they'll bring back the Super League. From like they're buying AC Milan and Inter Milan.
No, forget
Americans are
that.
taking over.
It will never have an OG. It won't happen over here.
Maybe when I'm an old man,
I
maybe when I get to
don't
your
know.
age.
It won't happen. It won't happen in my lifetime or yours. It won't be allowed to happen. No, it won't. I'm telling you, because over here, football means a lot. It's from centuries history. Even the government won't allow it. Any government, British government, won't allow it, like they didn't before. Yeah, that's what I say about that.
The thing is, though, Nick, the club at Liverpool, the valuation that's set for the club overall to be sold is roughly, from what I've read, is roughly 3 to 4 billion. That's how much the club's up for sale, because it was originally 3.6, but due to like recent success, the FSG have raised the price and they're looking to throw around 4 billion. So not a lot of people are going to be able to. Well, potential investors, they're not going to be able to buy that because it's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, say you do get new owners. Who would you prefer? Is it the two guys who will be mentioned in the news today, or you have anyone else you think should be?
Well, okay, I'll tell you the potential buyers, and then I'll tell you which one I prefer. So the first one is Redbird Capital. They already own 10% shares in the club already. They're a US investment firm. It's run by a guy called Jerry Campador, who he's quite wealthy, but his net worth is not that great. So whether they try and get a deal done with that, where it be part owner, I mean, I don't know a lot about the guy, but when he first took over the club, like with investment, he did mention that the way the Liverpool are, he did say they're a big club and like, they need like a massive like revamp and obviously a lot of investment in order, and they're a big name club in the sporting business. So I wouldn't mind that. And then obviously you got the Saudis, and then obviously you've got as well. I can't remember. There's been talk. I highly doubt it'll be him, but Jim Ratcliffe mentions Man United.
He's very rich.
Dex, a lot of them are going to be the previous Chelsea owners. A lot of them are going to try buying that club.
The previous bidders.
Yeah,
they are.
I can see Ratcliffe because he's a multi-billionaire. Like a lot of them are, but
I'm gonna be honest. It's either going to be American or Ratcliffe. It's not going to be Saudi or Qataris. Liverpool fans will allow that. No, especially the way
British
they
government's
believe
not
what they
feeling
believe.
them. Like, look at the ones the Arabs bought. They had to buy Man City, who were in the mud, and Liverpool and Newcastle, who were in the mud. Any team that has a name, like, will always have an American. Like, British government want to have Americans. I mean, again, they will always have a partnership with Americans.
Yeah. Chelsea done. Nick Blues are just having a show up, bro. We want to. Yeah, I know that. Dan, have your show.
Yeah, tell us his life story, man.
He's all right, Dan. Yeah.
The last one that I wanted to mention quickly as well. This is just broken out. I don't know how reliable it is, but there's this Indian billionaire called Mukesh Urbani. Apparently, he's looking to put an offer in. He's an Indian billionaire. Apparently, seeking a 51% stake in the club, which is almost like half the money. I don't know a lot about him, but apparently, he's a really he's a multi-billionaire.
Probably the Prime
owner in
Minister's
India.
friend.
Yeah, I don't know, but I wouldn't mind him.
But
I just want the guy
maybe,
that's got the money.
yeah.
So, that's going to put investment in because
Hey,
we
listen,
need
it's not
investment.
always about net worth. Look at Todd Bowley. He doesn't have anything and he
Yes.
spends.
The thing with Bowley though, he in order to him to buy Chelsea, he struggled to get Chelsea in the first place. He needed a lot of
No. He's got the Dodgers involved. He's smart.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's just the face of the operation.
And
But
the
anyway,
LA
I
Lakers.
should.
Don't forget, he owes the majority of LA Lakers, him and Clearwater or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, we probably got like 3 people that all want you to talk. So.
Oh yeah, Nick, I'm pretty much done what I said. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, Dex. Yeah, good luck to that. I don't know if you are a big rival.
Before, sorry, Nick, for interrupting. I hope you get the rickets, you scum.
Fine.
That's what I was sending him my photos at the bridge on the
I'm joking.
on the protest. I was winding Dex up. Just
I was there. I remember.
I prefer them to get Mike. I prefer them to get Mike Ashley myself.
Yeah, that'd be even better. I think. Yeah, Mike Ashley. God, imagine.
What's your
Ashley
opinion, Nick? What's your opinion on the whole thing? What's your opinion? I want to know what your opinion is.
It's true. I don't think. Maybe these owners ain't going nowhere. They just want to make more investors just to make more money. Because Liverpool in a good state, and they're making money. I don't know. I don't know really. Why would they want new owners when they have everything?
Maybe they feel like they've achieved everything.
Apparently, I'm hearing. Obviously, a lot of Americans they buy clubs to gain a profit, and Liverpool are at their highest, the maximum value for sell, and because obviously Jurgen Klopp has taken them back to the top. They've won a league. They've been challenging. They're quite a well sought after club now, and he thinks he can get top dollar for them and go away with profit. That's what I heard today.
Yeah, at least I say more money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more money. It's all about money, football these days. That's the problem. That's why the sport's so changed so much. But what can we do? We have to get along. I just want to welcome Prime to our panel because it's the first time. Hi, Prime. How are you? Long time to talk to you on the chats or whatever. Can you hear us? I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can. Hi.
Good. Yeah, just to welcome you. What's your overall thoughts? Now we're all pretty much in the same agreement that our team right now is absolute rubbish. What do you think?
What are you asking me in particular? Talking about the game, the whole club?
The game. Overall, the team.
The Arsenal game, I think.
Comes in. Yeah.
The Arsenal game, I think we were. The game, I think we were lucky to escape with a 1-0 win.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we should have lost that game 3-0. In terms of like what's going on in general and stuff, I said during pre-season that we're going to get a lot of score lines like this where we could get battered, 3s, 4s, like we did against Leeds and Brighton, or even just completely outplayed, like Southampton, like last night.
We were bad, man.
It is. Not a lot of people say. I've been doing previews all throughout last week, and like the abuse I've got from Chelsea fans because I actually see what's going on. I see what's going on with our club, and that I haven't been confident at all in any game we've been playing. against any side. And people thinking that it's just because it's Arsenal and Chelsea fans want to have some sort of weird bravado against quote unquote rivals and saying that I'm not a real Chelsea fan or I'm twerking for rivals or anything. It's cool.
That's
If no one sees what's going on with the if no one sees what's going on with the club, if no one sees what's going on with the club, that's fine. When things continue to get worse, you deserve to suffer with it. Honestly, like as much as we complain, as much as I complain about how bad these players are on the pitch and how we've been ran in the past 6-7 years, and I'm not sure necessarily about like sometimes there are oftentimes I have a bit of like doubts on Bowley. I hope he delivers, and I don't rate Potter as a manager, but I'm not going to turn against him. One of the biggest problems people don't mention is this fan base, the toxicity and the delusion in this fan base is absolutely incredible. We talk about how delusional. We all laugh at Arsenal fans and talk about how delusional they are. We laugh at Liverpool fans. We laugh at Spurs fans for thinking they can win a trophy. Chelsea are not even just as bad. We're worse.
Yeah,
people will hold. Sorry, I know I'm going on a bit of a rant, but just like let me get
it's all right. Carry on.
You have Chelsea fans that will like stand these mid-average players, the likes of like that. People will stand Havertz, Mount, Pulisic. For some reason, there's Ziyech stands. You could probably maybe even include Jorginho in that now because he hasn't been performing that well. People will stand all these players and try and make excuses for them. But yeah, when you have people like for example, Tuchel who dragged us to that Champions League, he actually did a carry job in each game, but people turned against him because of the style of football wasn't working. But you will defend your favorite player who's been terrible since they've been here. Havertz has been one of the worst forwards we've ever signed in Chelsea history. People love to talk about Timo Werner. Werner's first season at the club, which is the same summer Havertz joined, Werner ended the season with 27 GA.
Yeah.
Last season, people can talk about Lukaku. You guys can get angry because of the interview stuff he did. Lukaku didn't play in the second half of the season, so ended it with more goals in the Prem than Havertz. This guy's terrible. He kills consistently every attack. Mason Mount, I don't. Maybe it's because he's from the academy and because he's English. But I swear, if this was an Everton kid that we had bought for 40-50 mil, no one would be rating him. He's absolutely. People saying he's one of the he's one of our best players and he has been since he's been here. That's a lie. The best players we've had in the past few seasons has been Reece James and Thiago Silva.
100%. 100%.
Hold on. It's Deals. Hold on. Don't interrupt because you stand Havertz and Mount. You're part of this too. So hold on. But
no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Cool.
No, I'm not.
Okay, cool. So cool. Anyway, there are people who will continuously protect Mount. Mount last season had a very poor season. It's not for the GA he was able to get away with. He had a very, very poor season. No one saw that because of his goals and assists. But the season beforehand, when Werner got 27 GA, everyone wanted to get on Werner because of his touch and his passing and everything. So much players. The vast majority of the squad needs to go, and it's going to take time. It's going to take 18 months to 2 years. It's going to take 3-4 transfer windows for these players to go. And I get it. Maybe Potter right now is not having the best of time tactically or picking. He's probably picking kind of the same players over and over, like Havertz and Mount and stuff like that. I get it. Cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Potter either. I didn't want him. He's vastly overrated in my eyes. But we can't turn on this guy. We can't turn on another manager again to do what? These players have these guys down tools for a Champions League world-class manager, an elite tactician in Tuchel. These players down tools for Frank Lampard. I didn't rate Lampard. I think he's a bum. But they down tools for our club legend. What's going to make you think they won't down tools for Potter? And what happens after that? People are trying to say Potter out. If we sack Graham Potter, what do we do? What do we do next? What do we do next? We need to any manager that comes in.
We
need to build a squad.
I just want to carry on with you. Yeah, no, it's all right. That's why, Porter is careful what he's saying right now. You see, when he was talking, they were asking him about the players, what do you think about the game and all that yesterday? And, he had to cover them because he's new. He's only been here 2 months.
He
The
doesn't.
last thing he wants
In my
is to lose the
opinion,
players. Yeah.
in my opinion, like okay, he's trying. He's maybe okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe okay, cool. Maybe he's trying to do that. I don't know. But like, stop protecting these players. Come, when rumors that Tuchel's getting sacked and hold on. I know. No. Hold on. Yeah. I know what the problem is, and yes, he can. Like, and maybe it's because actually maybe he can specifically fine. But like that's why when people are like, "Who do we get?" I laughed and I said Mourinho. Mourinho would come out and expose every single one of these players, and no Chelsea fan could ever say anything. Mourinho is one of the big. Mourinho loves this football club more than you or I could ever do.
I would bring back.
Hold on. I know. Nick. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit of a flaw. Can I just land on what I'm saying? He would come out and expose every single one of these player stands. He would have get rid of Havertz and Mount and everyone in a heartbeat. These guys are destroying what we should be doing. The poor recruitment we've been doing time after time after time again. I hope that changes with Potter or with Bowley. It looks like he's trying to do that, build a scouting network and trying to become more of the model Man City are. They've been one of the best sustainable clubs I've ever seen in my lifetime. People, it's not just with Pep being here. They've built for years for Pep to come and dominate. Like it's awful. But yet people, I will go on streams or I will talk about it in tweets and I will get abuse from Chelsea fans. I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up around Chelsea, or I don't go to Chelsea games, or maybe because I'm black or something. I don't know. I would continuously get abuse for speaking the truth about what's happening. Like people don't see this. People don't see this. It's awful. Hold on. No, I know. Hold on. Can I hold on? I will have. Hold on.
He's done his rubbish. I'll say he's rubbish.
I know. I'm not talking again. I'm not. It's cool, Nick. I'm not talking about Nick. Yeah. Nick, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about I will have, and you know what? If I can talk about civic people, I'll have people like Chelsea Dan in the chat who will go out and protect Havertz continuously, and deals who's protected Havertz continuously, saying things like why he's not performing well is because of things like maybe
I've never protected Havertz, so you shush your mouth.
You have last week.
You shush your mouth. You shush your mouth.
You have last week. Anyway, you people who protect Havertz.
Shut your mouth. Don't mention my name.
Okay.
Don't mention my name.
Let him finish his point.
Okay, cool. Anyway, cool. Anyway, you will have people who will be stupid and protect Havertz and say things like, "Oh, the reason why he's not performing is because he has family problems or health problems or whatever." Like, you can't say stuff like that. That's a very serious problem. If Havertz is going through something personally, then for the good of our squad and him, he needs to be dropped. And I feel if he's going through something, I do feel for him because that's terrible. I don't wish that on anyone. But like that shouldn't be used as an excuse. Because as a fan base, and all the time I've been supporting Chelsea, I don't know. No one's ever like sympathized for players when they've gone through things. When Kepa was going through mental health problems, no one cared. People said, "Get over it." Everyone goes through breakups. Why are you performing badly? Jorginho's got abuse since the second he stepped foot in Stamford Bridge. No one cares about him. Lukaku, whether or not the interview stuff he did last season was terrible. Yes, I agree. But the racial abuse he got, no one cared. And I have people in the chat like Chelsea Jan trying to say that I should I know. Okay, it's cool. Nick Blue, I'm not talking. It's cool. I get it. I'm not talking about you. It's cool. But I have people who are coming. I know, Nick. I know you cared. Nick, I know you cared. I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just in the flow. I know you cared, bro. I'm just in the flow. I have stupid people trying to say to me that I have to bring evidence to say to try and prove that a black man got racially abused. Do people not realize how stupid that is?
I know.
People will laugh. People will laugh.
Are you talking about Lukaku?
Can I finish?
Are you talking about Lukaku?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to
let him
make an
finish.
actual point. If you're getting triggered because of Lukaku, just stop. I'm trying to actually make a valid points here. So many players. When we won the title under Conte, William's mother died. No one cared. Our fan base didn't care.
Really?
So why all of a sudden should we care that Mason Mount can go through a bad patch and he's suffering something, or maybe Howard is suffering something going through a bad? Why should I care? Lampard, yeah. When Lampard's mother died, I don't know. When Lampard's mother died, the next day he was playing for Chelsea. I don't remember Chelsea fans actually caring and saying that he should take time off for the good of his health. I don't remember Chelsea fans caring.
Frank Lampard,
Exactly. And hold on, stop. Hold on, let me continue. And I'm not saying it, by the way, we shouldn't care. I care. When Willian was going through something, I cared. I cared when Kepa went through stuff. I remember fighting Chelsea fans on stream, being on the terrace, fighting Chelsea fans, saying that he's going through mental health problems. He should be dropped. He can't continue playing. I remember I've defended Jorginho, saying that the abuse is enough. Yeah. Lukaku last season, I defended him, saying he shouldn't be getting racially abused. The interview's bad, but leave the guy alone. And people were saying, who cares? Just man up and suck it up. People like, again, Chelsea Dan in the chat, and that guy at the top middle. No, there's so many things wrong with this fan base. For me, something
Stop mentioning my name, innit? Stop mentioning my name, bro. Stop mentioning my name.
I didn't call your name.
You're not for this, bro.
I didn't call your name.
Don't mention my name, bro. Don't mention my name.
I didn't call your name. I didn't call your name. I didn't call your name. I didn't call your name. I didn't call your name. Relax. Anyway. My point is, there's so many annoying and there's so many. I know I'm going on. Sorry, but there's so many like toxic things going around Chelsea. Yeah. For me, worse than the players that I this is a bad word to say, but I hate and I have no love or defense or care for. I'm putting the fans at the top. As a fan base, we are horrible. We are horrible. And we deserve, as a collective, as a fan base, we deserve, this is going to get very bad. We deserve everything that's going to happen. We deserve it. We are horrible as a fan base.
Prime.
It's fucking bullshit on Lukaku, by the way. Yeah, you're defending my man, bro. You're an idiot.
I wasn't defending Lukaku. I wasn't defending Lukaku. I wasn't defending Lukaku on any player.
If you're gonna get aggressive and talk prime for,
I haven't defended Lukaku. I haven't defended Lukaku or any player, by the way. If anyone listened to what I was saying, they'd realize what I'm saying. But if you're getting triggered by a particular player, whatever, I don't care.
You made some good points. I know.
Let me
well, hold on, champ.
Sorry, Nick, for going on. Sorry, Nick, for going on. I know it's your channel. My bad, bro. Sorry for waffling on.
Yeah. So everyone has their opinion. Everyone, we have to talk here. Yeah, this is what it's about. And we have to tell the truth.
Can I just say one more thing, Nick? Sorry. I am so sorry. One more thing. I am so sorry. One more thing. Chelsea Dan, I didn't say you're racist on this stream. So shut up. If you're not listening to what, if no one's listening to what I've said, then don't react with emotion.
Anyway, let's all calm down.
My brother Prime.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done. My bad. I'll mute now. I'm done. I'm sorry.
I know you didn't say that now. Dan, he didn't say that. He was talking about what happened to Lukaku from certain fans who were abusing him, calling him stupid names, really bad names, on Twitter, not just Twitter, mostly on Twitter. The bridge, he didn't get that.
No, I don't even mind. If you call a player a stupid name, that's fine. Like slandering a player, we all kind of do that, so fine. I'm talking about actual racial. I'm talking about actual racial abuse. Racial abuse is different from just slander, but whatever. It's cool. Let's move on, because you're just gonna get people like that guy in the chat and that guy on top who was just gonna complain and mention the So let's move on. It's cool.
I'm not complaining about nothing.
Let me just
stop mentioning my fucking name, innit?
I didn't mention your name.
That's why I didn't mention my name.
I didn't mention your name. I didn't mention your name, Deals. Relax. I didn't mention your name.
We need football therapy.
Let me just finish this point, please. Prime is trying to say what happened, when Lukaku came in and people didn't want him. People were calling him really bad names, racial names. Not just Lukaku, they were calling certain people in streams were calling other black people very bad names. I don't want to name the people. I know I was there on the panel. when it happened, and another guy who said it, and another guy who got it. Both of them I know very well, and it wasn't nice. Yeah, and after that, it just blew up. You wasn't there, Prime, on that. I'll tell you where he was on the Blue Lounge when I was on the panel with that time with Mo, which I don't want to mention the Blue Lounge anymore. But
Don't mention names,
he was
man.
that day. Yeah, I don't want to mention names. Yeah, so let's move on.
It's okay. We can. Yeah, it's okay. We can just move on.
People
are just going to be
January.
because
Let's talk about January, yeah.
Yeah. Let's move
on.
Let's bring Stav into as well. Hasn't said a word yet. Stav, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Are you there? Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, I'm
and
here.
clear. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I'm just trying to get my train of thought after all that. Right, listen, right, Nick, this is your channel, yeah? But the way this is going, it's going to turn into the same as some of the other ones, right? People need to talk one at a time. Like you said, if you're not talking, mute, right?
Yes.
And stop interrupting each other, right? And stop pointing fingers. Prime, you didn't use his name, but we all know who you were talking about, right? So you need to pull it in a bit as well. Now, I'm like Nick. I'm ancient, right? I'm more reserved. Me, Nick, and Max, right? Burton Ballers, right? We were around, right, when Paul Cannaville was getting shit, right? So we all know about the racism and stuff like that, right? So we don't need lectures and lessons about it. The reason that our fan base is becoming toxic is because none of them can accept that there comes periods in the game, right, in our history, right, where we're not going to win something and we have to rebuild and we have to settle down, right? So I'm gonna mention something Dale said earlier on, right? Because I've been listening, even though I haven't been in the studio. Dale's, this isn't an attack. I'm just putting you straight, right? The expectancy that you were talking about, that was under Roman. These are new owners. These are owners, right, that waited 5 years with the same coach for their baseball team to win things, right? And thanks to Roman and his Glazer clause, right, they can't take no money out and they can't sell the club for 10 years. So let's just take it that if they've agreed to that, they're serious. Yeah. So let's take that for starters. That's just what you said earlier on, Dales. Right. This thing about the players, right, that none of them care, right? Let me go and address it. World Cup, some players are now trying to avoid injuries. Like we've seen Kante, Chile, and Reece get injured, right? On top of that. And they were all going to go to World Cup, right? So some of the other players are now holding back, right? Arsenal have got a squad full of young kids, right? Who
Stav,
well,
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but can I just say this? Nick, can you bring up that comment again?
Which one?
About the Dan's fourth comment about him saying that I called him a racist. I didn't call you a racist on your stream. You were on stream yesterday after the game, and you said the reason why Graham Potter doesn't play Zachariah, you said he doesn't play him because he's racist. And then I said to you, no, he's not racist. Show me proof. Maybe you are. And you started acting like overreacting, saying, "Oh, I'm not a racist, bro. You can't call me a racist, bro." Yada yada yada. And that was proving my point of you can't be a hypocrite and just randomly call someone a racist. You can't do that. Yeah. There's evidence on your stream of me say exactly what I'm saying now, explaining the context. There's evidence of your stream from yesterday and me doing that as well. You fucking idiot, man.
Well, look what Arthur
Sorry,
said, man.
sorry, Stav,
Arthur
for
said-
interrupting you. Continue.
Please, no,
Continue.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not going to take people. I'm not going to take
Listen,
I'm not going to take people lying and making it out as if I'm a bad person. I'm not going to take people lying. Sorry, Stav. My bad. Apologies, bro.
Yeah, Pram, I
Apologies,
don't know. I don't know what happens elsewhere. Right now, I go into 2 channels. Right, Max's Burton Ballers and this one, and I'm only in this one because I promised Nick at the beginning that I would stick with it and try and help him build it up, like I did with a certain other channel. Now
It's true.
we know, like 3 of us in this panel know full well about the racist reputation of Chelsea. So I'll get back to the fan base. I'll deal with the fan base first. Just bear with me because I'm trying to calm things down a bit, right? And I'm trying to be level-headed, okay? The problem with this fan base, right, is they just want success and glory every single season, no matter what, right? We're now, whether you like the word or not, we're now in transition. We're in transition from owners, right? We're in transition from a different coach, right? And we're in transition with rebuilding the squad, right? Now, I'm not going to say that there's players there who don't care and don't try. These are the same players, right, who took us to those cup finals, the majority of them anyway, right? Even if you take Sterling and some of the new signings, right? He was a success at Man City. Of course he cares. That's why he came to Chelsea, because he wants to play, right? And he wants to win things. And maybe he just sees us, or he saw us before Tuchel went, as a better option for winning the Champions League. That's Sterling, right? But it's World Cup, right? If you go back to Mourinho, last time he was here, and his first season, right? And he had the issue with Mata, right? You had the issue with De Bruyne. You had the issue with Lukaku, right? All those 3, right, wanted to go to the World Cup. Lukaku was honest. Publicly, he was honest. And he asked to move. All this nonsense that he was moved on because he missed a penalty in the Super Cup, right? Andre Villas-Boas was the one who messed him about first time around. So he was honest about it. He said, I want to go to the World Cup, right? And Jose was honest. Well, you've got competition. It's not like you're going to play all the time or get in every game. So, and he moved on. Well, De Bruyne whinged like a bitch, right? He whinged like a bitch. And his performances, he played 3 games. Listen, I wanted him. When I saw him play against us, right, for Ghent or Genk, whichever team, Genk I think it was, right? I wanted him. I thought, great player, right? But he came to Chelsea making demands, right? And you know full well, Jose is not going to accept that, right? He's not going to say, yeah, you're going to play every week. And the same thing applies to Mata. And look at the squad we had, right? We had Oscar competing for the place, Schürrle competing for the place, right? William competing for the place, right? De Bruyne at that point was playing wide for Genk, right? And you had Eden Hazard had arrived as well. You had 5, 6 players competing for at most 2 places because Jose played with 2 wingers, right? And De Bruyne just whinged like a bitch, right? And in the end, they gave him what he wanted and they allowed him to go to Germany on loan, right? With the intention that he was going to come back so he could play to get into the World Cup squad, right? Mata, some people on here will remember, there was a deal being mooted, right, for Mata to go to Man United, and we got Rooney. And that was because both teams were playing in Australia, right, at the same time. And then Man United went back on the deal, right? And then Mata got told the same thing. You've got to fight for your place. If you watched a game at Southampton that season, right, he took Schürrle and Mata off and he put William and Oscar on, right? Oscar scored twice, gave an assist, for Williams' goal. And to be fair, he dived for the penalty, which he didn't get. But it totally changed the game. We were going nowhere, right? Schuler went off, sat down on the bench, accepted it. Mata started throwing his jacket around and sulking. And he was like virtually in tears, the big fucking dick, right? You play for the shirt. You're hearing people saying, right, you want to see the players play for the shirt, right? So he went and he saw Mourinho, and I know, listen, I'm not bullshitting. I know two people who were working at the club in the training ground at that time, both players' liaisons, and I know one of the physios at the time, right?
Yeah.
They're all left now, but this is coming from them, right? And Mata went to Jose, right, round about November time, beginning December. And he was whinging, and Jose said, okay, if you want to go to Man United, you can go to Man United. But the club turned round, right, and they said to Mata and his dad, because his dad was his agent, you can go, but you're not allowed to put about what the fee is. We want 41 million for you, right? But you're not allowed to advertise it, and neither is your dad. So if you remember, if you were watching on TV, Moyes was the coach at that time, right? And he turned around and he basically said openly on TV, oh yeah, we'll have to run Mata. We know what it's going to take to get him, right? And come January. So when he said that, the club obviously know that he'd been talking to them, right? So they said to him, right, you can fuck off. Go to Man United. All right, they didn't say those words, right? You can go if you want to go. So did Jose, right? And the whole deal was done via fax, right? Chelsea didn't talk to Man United, right? Not verbally or anything. The paperwork was all sent backwards and forwards, and they let him go, right? Both of those players were putting themselves and their international and World Cup ambitions ahead of the club, right? Mata had been this was his third season, right? And despite the fans voting him Player of the Year 2 years in a row, he put himself and his ambitions ahead, right? And then he was allowed to go. De Bruyne went, right? Lukaku was honest about it and went on loan, right? I think it was Everton, if I remember rightly, right? And they tapped him up, so he wanted to stay there, right? That's the problem. When you send someone on loan, they tend to get tapped up, right? I'm pretty sure that Crystal Palace were trying it on with Gallagher last season, right? And I'm pretty sure that the German club, I can't remember which way around, it was Werder Bremen and then Wolfsburg. I can't remember which way around it was. I think Werder Bremen were on loan, or Wolfsburg, right? So they were tapping him up. They were tapping up Lukaku. These players put themselves first, right? So don't be surprised now if players are trying to avoid getting injured, right? Because they want to go to the World Cup, right? I'm not going to accept that Mason Mount doesn't care, right? And it pretty much does. But we have to remember certain other things. Anyway, so now that's that addressed about players. These players took us to 5 finals. I'm not talking about the Club World Cup and the Poxy Super Cup, which we've won before. The Club World Cup was only important because we hadn't won it, and it completed the set. And I was glad we won it because it gave Roman every trophy available, right? But that was the only reason I was bothered, right? Now let's get that's that addressed, right? Let's get back to Tuchel, the great tactician, this and that, right? This great tactician, got to 3 Wembley finals, right? I won't address the Champions League. Got to 3 Wembley finals, right? And didn't score a goal in any of those 3 finals. We can turn around and say, well, we only lost 2 on penalties. We did this, we did that. We were unlucky. You can blame the ref and VAR for disallowing Lukaku's perfectly good goal, right? But the point is, he wasn't good enough to put the games to bed, was he? Right? Tactically, he couldn't put the games to bed. and we didn't win those finals. Same thing with Lampard, right? Lampard decided that in that cup final against Arsenal, right, when that Anthony Taylor, whatever his fucking name is, right, robbed us.
Yeah.
Robbed us. Right?
Anthony Taylor.
Lampard decided to go with a double pivot, yeah, right, in that cup final. Yeah, we had a couple of injuries as well with Pulisic and Daspy, right? But that's what happened. He played a double pivot, right? And if people haven't realised yet, right, Arteta knows exactly how to beat that double pivot. And he's done it, right? He did it to Lampard, and he's done it 3 times to us now, right? Well, to the great tactician Tuchel, right? On Sunday, Potter got it right by playing a back 4 because he closed those spaces in behind the 2, right? And he didn't play 2 wing backs. When we were playing them with Tuchel, he couldn't see that, playing 3 defenders at the back and then playing 2 defensive mids. One who's immobile, Ruben, right? I'm not criticising him, but he's immobile, right? He's better going forward. He's not going to chase back. He can't track back and track back on players, right? And we all know Jorginho, right? He's a Champions League player. He's an international player. He's not an EPL player. He's not an FA Cup player, right? And we all know that. And if you don't believe me, look at the Champions League final when we played an English team. Yeah? He was exposed twice. He lost the ball to Kevin De Bruyne, right? And Kante robbed De Bruyne as he was getting ready to shoot. Then on the other side of the pitch, he lost the ball to Sterling, right? And same again, Kante bailed him out. And that's why Jorginho is less effective now, right? Because his minders are missing, right? Kovacic and Kante have both been injured a lot, right? And that's exposing him. He can't resist the press. He's too slow, right? He can't track back. And all you've got to do is bypass him, get the ball between the 2 DMs and into the areas where the 3 defenders are, right? And then you've got 3 defenders against 4 midfielders plus the attackers, and you're overwhelmed. So Potter got that bit right. What he got wrong was still relying on Jorginho. And I'm not criticising Jorginho. I'm giving you reasons why it doesn't work with him there and with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Zakaria should have played, right? And Kovacic should have started that game, right? They're both quicker. They're both more mobile, right? And they're both better at transitioning the ball forward, right? I keep hearing, Jorginho, he's got this great pass. He's got this. He maybe passes 1 decent pass too, right, a game. And then half the time, he overhits them and the balls roll out, right? He's not Cesc Fabregas, right? He's not Michael Ballack, right? He's not Michael Essien, right? All these players. He's not Roberto.
No, he's not. But at the moment, we don't have anyone better.
Yeah, he's not Roberto Di Matteo. He's not Gustavo Poyet.
We know he's not, but he's still.
Right? So,
he's
but
the
Nick,
first name on the team sheet.
Nick. He's his first name on the team sheet, and it's beyond me why, right?
He's not beyond me.
Yeah, right. Well, I know why. Right. Anyway, I'm going to address something else. The Tuchel thing. Right. After this, I'll be nearly finished. Right. Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, that's his squad. Right. He had them 18 months. He's added to it. Right. And that's his squad. Right. Whether you like it or not. All I heard last season was, but you've got to give him time. Got to let him get his own players. You got to this, you got to that. Why doesn't that not apply to Potter? Why does it not apply to Potter? You've got to give him time. You've got to let him restructure that squad. Right? He's had, 10, 11 games, and people are expecting him to get the way he wants us to play properly over. Yeah, he's made mistakes. Right? The Jorginho, bloody Ruben Loftus-Cheek thing on Sunday, that's a mistake, right? Playing wingers as wing-backs, that's a mistake. But the difference is with his wingers playing as wing-backs, they're more attacking than Tuchel's were, right? And for the first few games, you saw us getting more and more into the opposition's half and towards their box, right? But that left us open because he was using players who were not going to track back and close those spaces and the gaps that I was talking about before, right? That was Tuchel. Tuchel, and you all know because you all follow the club and you will all be on the internet, you'll all be on social media and everything, right? Yeah. Tuchel said that midfield wasn't an issue, right? All summer, midfield wasn't an issue, right? It became an issue the day before the window was due to close. And why did it become an issue? Because he suddenly realised he couldn't turn Gallagher, right, into a square peg to fit into a round hole, right, and convert him into a defensive mid. Suddenly he's scurrying for the defensive mid, right? Last day before the window's due to close. The same thing with a striker, 10 days, 10, 12 days before, right? He decided he wanted a striker. Why did he decide he wanted a striker? Because he decided he wanted to sell Brozier. In July, Brozier was a super talent. Remember when he come home injured some pre-season, and he said he's going nowhere, he's a super talent, he's this, he's that, he's got a future at the club. Right? By August, he's telling Bowley to sell him and Gallagher. Right? Whether you think these guys are ready.
I remember,
right?
That's up 100%. I remember.
Yeah. Right? Whether you think these guys are ready or not is a different matter. Right? And then another thing, his transfer window, I still have doubts with regards to Koulibaly, right, and Fofana. I'm not saying they're crap. I'm not saying they're not Chelsea players. I'm not saying they're not suitable, but I have my doubts about them because I haven't seen enough of them. Right?
Rushed into things.
Yeah, right. So that's the other thing, right? Now, the point is, he fannied around, right, all summer. He didn't want this, he didn't need that, right? And if the rumours are true that he refused to phone his own transfer targets, then that's not good enough either, right? These players are playing with the mentality that he instilled in them, right? If they're paid off, it's because, you take Ziyech, he's played 25 minutes under Potter. He's never going to play for Chelsea again, right? Because obviously Potter doesn't want to use him, right? Fair enough. But we should have let him go, right? In August, when Ajax came in, we tried to be clever and we asked for far too much money, more money than we paid for him, and he's 2 years older. So that guy's career's been ruined at Chelsea, or it stood stagnant for 2 years, right? Yeah, that's down to Tuchel. So then what happens? He doesn't want this, he doesn't want that. He suddenly wants them. What's the other mistake he made? Hey, I'll tell you, and if you disagree, just tell me you disagree, right? He let Colville go, right? Where have we got injury problems at the moment? Centre back, right? Where haven't we got cover at the moment? Left back. The two positions Colville can play. He's old enough to have gone on a B list. What's he doing at Brighton? He's sitting on the bench, right? He let Billy go, right? He let Billy go.
Nathan,
yeah. Defensive mid.
I don't want to go into Tuchel too much, please.
No. Listen, I've listened. I've sat here and I've listened. Yeah. Right, Nick.
Yeah, I know.
I've sat here
we talked about Tuchel a million times.
You have to discuss Tuchel. No. Listen, I'm not talking about Tuchel.
What we're going to do now. Yeah.
I'm trying to explain to you, Nick. You know, I am. You're not listening. What am I saying?
I'm listening.
Right? I'm saying he let those players go, right, in positions, including Ampadu, right, and including Dijon Sterling, right, who's the only other right back apart from Aspie at the moment. He let them all go. They could all stayed, right, and been on the B list. We'd have had a big squad. Like I said the other night, the Champions League has been compressed into 5 weeks less than it would normally, right? Fixtures from December Premier League are going to be held back now. So come January, we're going to have fixture pile-ups again, right? Now, the point is, Tuchel didn't think of that. He didn't prepare for that, right? He just picked a squad that he thought would get us through the season without thinking of all those things. Colwell, Gilmore, Ampadu and Sterling should have all stayed. Only Ampadu couldn't go on the B list, right? We now have players in those positions, okay? So my point is, when people are criticising Potter, these are issues that are Tuchel's issues, but Potter's the man who's been left with the shit to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why. So, and I'm not into having these attacks on Potter. Right. Before Tuchel went to listen, hang on a minute, last minute. Right. Before Tuchel went to Dortmund, right, he was at Mainz. Right. He hadn't won anything. He hadn't done anything. He went to Dortmund and he won one cup. Right. Then he got the job at PSG by winning one cup. Meanwhile, before him was Klopp, won the cup, 2 league titles, all from Bayern Munich, and that got him the job at Liverpool, right? So Tuchel was trusted. Tuchel was trusted by PSG, right? And he got the job. So now, Potter, you all know, he took an amateur Swedish team from the bottom division to the first division, and he won the Swedish Cup, right? There's parallels there. Now Chelsea's his first big job, right?
Yeah.
Tuchel's first big job was Dortmund, right? And then he went on to PSG and then Chelsea. So people trusted him. So we have to trust Potter. We have to remember this isn't his squad, right? None of the signings are his, and all the issues that Tuchel left behind, Potter's been left to deal with, right? Whether you like that or not. And I don't like this, he's not good enough for Chelsea, he's not this, he's not that. People probably in Portugal said the same thing about Jose not being good enough for Porto because he came from a second division team, right? Just give the guy a break, give him a chance. He's not slagging the players off because he can't afford to, because he'll lose them, like Nick said, right? So he can't do that.
He can't do that because he just come in.
And he's held his hands up. And he's held his hands up.
Yeah.
He's held his hands
you're
up
absolutely
and
right.
accepted.
Yeah.
He held his hands up, accepted blame, right, for Brighton. Right? He didn't put it on the players. He's not putting it on the players. Yeah.
He's taking the blame for yesterday for Brighton.
And that's another step.
He has. The only thing is, the problem is,
the last thing is,
go on.
Nick, the last thing is with Tuchel, right? You know what my thoughts were on Lampard, right? My thoughts on Lampard, I didn't want him, and I didn't rate him, and I still don't rate him, and I hope he takes Everton down if he doesn't get sacked first, right?
Yeah.
But he got us out of that. He got us out of that group stage, right? So if he hadn't got us out of that group stage, 1, would Tuchel have come? 2, Tuchel wouldn't have won anything. He would have been in 4 finals, right? Won 1 and wouldn't have only scored one goal in 4 finals. Let's put that into context. That he's a great tactician. His tactics is one system. One system. If he was coach on Sunday against Arsenal, he would have played 3 again at the back. Right? He's obsessed with that system. So if he was such a tactical genius, he would swap it around. He could change. At least Potter's trying to find ways around. Right? Let's wait till January before we start judging all these players. Right? Some of them are ponces, right? Putting themselves ahead of the club and the World Cup, right? But I'm not going to turn around and say they're crap, they don't care, they're this, they're that. I'm not going to turn around and say Mason Mount. Mason Mount, right, had 24 goal involvements last season, right? I think, was it 11 goals in the league this is? 11 goals and 13 assists. That's better than Sterling's was. Right? That's better than Sterling was.
Right? I know, but we're talking about his performance
Nick, Nick,
very
right?
bad.
That's not right. Yeah. But the final thing, you all know, anybody who knows me, right? I defended Kepa from day one, right? From the Lampard.
I defended Kepa
from the Lampard.
since when we bought him, if you remember stuff.
Yeah.
I always wanted Kepa. He had problems, and he got rid of them. He solved the problems.
Yeah,
and
right. Now he's a better keeper. Yeah. Now he's a better, more complete all-round keeper of the two.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Because
he solved the problems here.
Yeah. Now the other thing is, I want to address the Havertz thing. Right. Nobody's happy with him, his form, his inconsistencies, all this kind of stuff. Right. But the guy had full-blown COVID. Mm-hmm. He didn't have that poncy little cold one that people were getting last December. He had the full-blown one, right? And I know people who've had it, right? And you have to take into account, I don't know what his personal issues are that were mentioned earlier on, right? You have to take into account, we know very little about long COVID, right? And him being a fit footballer, right, doesn't changes nothing. Changes nothing because long COVID is supposed to be affecting respiratory and the mind, the head, right? So we don't know, right? So I'd rather not slag him off right now. I'd rather give Potter the chance to get the best out of him. One last point, Lukaku.
The problem is the whole team. Havertz is not the only one. Mount is not the only one.
But Nick, it all dates back.
All of them, most of them.
Yeah, but Nick,
that's the problem.
It dates back to the issues that Mr. Tuchel's left behind.
I know. Yeah, but that's no excuses. No excuses for these players.
No, Nick, you're not listening. You're not listening, Nick.
Up against a rival like
I'm not
Arsenal.
talking about individuals. Nick, I'm not talking. Nick, I'm not talking about individuals, right? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the things facing Potter, right, and things he has to deal with, right? And you have to give him time. He's learning about his squad. He knows just one player.
That's what I said. I always say give him time. We said that almost.
Right, he knows just one player.
And there is some fans who don't understand what time means even.
Because they just want to win, Nick. They only say that you're losing a game or you're drawing a game.
We said it how many times. These fans of us are spoiled, winning trophy after trophy.
Right.
You know what it's like. Me, you, Max here, even Serafai, who wasn't around in the 70s, but he understands. He knows what went on.
Yeah.
But
it's
a lot
easy.
of our fans that don't. That's a problem.
Look, it's easy to pick up the ones that are proper fans, right? Yeah, you can, right, get emotional about it. You are allowed to get upset about a defeat. It was Arsenal, right? And
it's not just Arsenal. It wasn't just Arsenal.
While I was watching the game,
it was Arsenal last season. Where's the passion for
Nick? Hold on, Nick. Nick, hold on.
Yeah, all right.
Right, the passion has to be put back in to the squad, right? It has to be put back, right? You look at Pulisic, look at Ziyech, all these players, Werner, Callum Hudson-Odoi. They're not the only ones, right, who have the passion kicked out of them by Tuchel making them square pegs into round holes. They're not the only ones. There's other people in the squad as well, right?
Yeah.
So you're making me lose my voice. On Sunday, while the game was on, I was making comments on the Facebook page that I run, right? And that was emotion. Those comments were emotion, right?
Because we all did that, I understand.
But then
we all got emotional because we didn't expect what we got yesterday. We didn't expect it.
But then afterwards,
at least they should have showed some fight,
But afterwards, right, I did an assessment of the game, right, and I was honest about it. Said pretty much a lot of the stuff I've just said now, right. I forgot about the fact that we got beat, etc., etc. We were lucky. There was only 1-0, but the point is, right, Potter did get some things right, starting with the back four for starters. He got that right, okay, right. I can see Dan. He said he only trusts him 70-30 or 30-70 or whatever. Dan, it's been 11 games. It's been 11
it's
games.
Only 3 losses, by the way, you know.
Yeah,
But
been 11 games.
It's terrible. Yeah,
11
because
losses.
like we said,
3 losses, Nick.
go on.
3 losses by Tuchel in 7.
Yeah.
Right? We wouldn't have got, and I guarantee you, we wouldn't have got out of that Champions League group the way we were going with Tuchel. Right? Guarantee that. But my last thing, and then I'm going to stop. Lukaku. Right? He did not say anything bad, right, about the club, the coach, or the system. Right? He never said anything bad. Right? That Romano and Sky Sports twisted everything. Right?
They did.
They twisted everything. Right? And the fans got on his case, Lukaku, and all this garbage. Right?
Rubbish.
The bloke crosses the line. The bloke crosses the line wearing the Chelsea shirt. You support him and you get behind him. Right? 100%. Like I do with Jorginho. I have a nightmare every time I see Jorginho's name on the team sheet.
Shall I tell you the reason why that was, Stov?
Yeah. But the minute he crosses it,
shall I tell you the reason why that was, Stov?
Line, what?
Yeah, go on.
He never wanted to join Chelsea.
Who?
Lukaku.
Yeah, but he never said any of the stuff that people said. No, hang on a minute. He wanted to stay, let me get this straight. He wanted to stay at Inter Milan, right? Inter Milan couldn't offer him an extension because they were having trouble with the Chinese government, the owners, right? So he came to Chelsea, right? Tuchel, by his own admission, said he spoke to Lukaku on the phone. Now, I'm not going to say that he made promises he didn't keep or whatever. Nobody knows what the conversation was. But he made it blatantly obvious he didn't want him and he didn't want to play him, right? The guy still finished top scorer. He finished 1 goal behind what Drogba did in his first 2 seasons. He got 15 goals. Drogba got 16 and 16, right? So, and he never said anything of the sort. And people, right, who support the club, right, and know about the relationship between Chelsea and Sky Sports, right, should know better if they believe that shit, right? Who's that guy again? In the Telegraph, he left the Daily Mail. Max, who's there? What is it? Matt something, Matt Law, right? Matt Law and Cy Phillips. Yeah, no, but hang on. Matt Law and Cy. Yeah, but hang on. Yeah, but hang on a minute. Matt Law and Cy Phillips turned round to Romano and they said, "Are you sure that's what he said?" Right? And they told him, "You better be certain that's what he said." Right? And like I said, I read the transcript on the bottom of the screen and it related in no way to what the Sky presenters were saying. And then I got an Italian friend to translate it, right? And he never said anything that was bad. He said, "I'm a professional. It's up to me to adapt to the system," right? Now, people were saying he was playing 1 or 2 players out of position, Tuchel. He was playing 5 or 6 players out of position, right, including the striker. If you've got injuries to Reece James and Chilwell and you haven't got any other wing-backs, you adapt your system to suit what you've got available. And if that means playing to Tuchel's strengths, that's what you have to do. If that means using wingers as wingers and letting them play their game, right, and express themselves, that's what you do, right? Chilwell and Reece James were both out, and still Tuchel wanted to play that system, right? And he used Callum Hudson-Odoi, he used Pulisic, right, and he even used Ziyech as wing-backs occasionally, right? That's bollocks, sorry. Don't mean to swear, but that's bollocks. Play to what you have available to you and the strength of your squad, not some puerile system which is used in Germany.
Yeah, they didn't use Lukaku, right? Tuchel didn't want him. Tuchel, doesn't like centre forwards. Doesn't like.
Well, then he was just. He was just as responsible then.
We
Nick,
know that. And if it's the points, they'll have to go to the others. They'll be waiting
very long. Like Nick. Yeah. Nick, that was then Tuchel's fault as well, right?
Yeah, of course
everybody knows. Everybody knows he doesn't want strikers. Everyone knows he doesn't want strikers. Dales, when you were on Chelsea Perspective, yeah, who was the other guy? He kept having a go, and he said, "We need a striker. We need a striker." Right? The one who had the green border. Right? He said, "We have to get a striker." Yeah. Who? Not declared. Not declared. Declared's a dick. It was another black guy, Afro-Caribbean guy.
Oh, IBZ.
Yeah, IBZ. Right? Yeah, IBZ. Right? Yeah. He kept going on about how we needed a striker, get a striker. He was right. I'm not arguing with him. And in the comments,
we all wanted a striker.
Yeah, but I put in the comments, right, in the live chat, I said, but the problem is Tuchel doesn't want a striker, right? And IBZ started attacking me, right? I was agreeing with him, and I was giving the reason why we didn't have one. People need to slow down, digest everything, think about what's going on around them, right? We have to trust Bowley, Roman did, and we have to trust Potter, because Potter's been brought in for the long term, right, to rebuild that club, right? And he's going nowhere. He's going to be there 2 to 3 seasons minimum before he's even in danger, right? And he's going nowhere.
Like I said, how many times I said it.
Yep.
You know, this is not a team rebuild. It's Chelsea Football Club being rebuilt.
And he's going to have
to be patient. Yeah, I keep saying
he's going to have a window in January, right? But don't expect too much, because January is notoriously difficult. We may sign people and have to loan them back till the end of the season, right? But we will get 1 or 2, right? Personally, I'd recall Colville, right? If we can. He's sitting on the bench at Brighton. Yeah, we can. I'm sure that they've put in, he has to play a certain percentage, right? Buy Billy back, bring him back, right? And sit him, right, next to Zakaria or cover, right? And bring back Dion Sterling, because even if Reece comes back, there's always a possibility he's going to aggravate something. Let's build that squad so we've got cover. I mean, Bobby, right? Says it time and time. I'll answer a question in a minute, right? Bobby keeps going on about the depth of squad. We're only allowed 25 senior players, same as everyone else. But that B list allows us, right? Some of the kids we've got out on loan are quality. It allows us to have a bigger squad, right? We have to deal with the World Cup. We have to deal with the fact that the Champions League was squeezed in, right? We have to deal with the fact that come January, we're going to have to play catch-up with the December fixtures. This is all FIFA's fault, right? They're the ones to blame, right? Do you know that next week, everyone finishes this week, yeah? Correct? Right? The World Cup starts in a fortnight, doesn't it? 10 days, whatever that is, right? Next week, every country is playing internationals, right? Whether they're in the World Cup or not, because I'm going to Cyprus v Bulgaria, right? They're all playing internationals because FIFA, despite setting up the World Cup, right? Despite making September, October, and November international weeks, right? Despite the World Cup, they're still making international weeks leading up, and it's crazy. Killing clubs. Yeah. It's killing clubs and their players. Yeah. They're playing too much, right? So you have to take that into account. You have to take that into account.
So we move to the other.
Yeah, I will.
I will. We bring it back after that. Yeah.
Right. Listen. Right. We have to think about that. That pot has to juggle everything.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay. All right.
Go on, Max. Go on.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Let's go to Max and then to certify. I know everyone's waiting. We're just going. So we're not going nowhere anyway. We've got time. Yeah. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah. I'll be quick. I just want to address some of this. I've been listening for a while. I just want to address some of the things I heard before. I think Prime was on earlier. And what
Yeah.
what Prime's saying is some of some of what he's saying is correct about the fan base, because this is a new breed of fan base now. I think it's a case of they'll more support the player than support the club, and it will be an agenda. Whether you're and what I don't like about the fan base is that they'll pit one player up against another player. If you like Georgina, you can't like Kante, for instance. If you like Pulisic, you can't like Mount, and all this nonsense. And it's just a load of rubbish. Yeah, it is just a load of nonsense for me. And some people would want to see people fail to prove a point rather than what's best for the club. You know, at the end of the day, I support Chelsea Football Club, and that's what everyone should do. They should be supporting Chelsea Football Club. I don't always agree with some of the decisions that are made, but because I support the club, you know, I will. You know, and it's all right to criticise players. I don't, you know, everyone can get, but when abuse comes into it and everything else, that's where the line's drawn for me. You know, it's about constructive criticism, and you know, I'll criticise, but I'm consistent. You know, I criticised Tuchel when he was doing wrong. I praised him when he was doing well. You know, what's his name's coming now, Potter. I'm giving him the time, but if he does something wrong, I'm going to call him up on it, and that's what it should be. It should be where no one should be beyond criticism or praise or whatever. So, but you know, you can't just you can't, you know, control people's minds. Some people are just like that, and it's new for a lot of the fan base. It's new for them because they're not used to. A lot of fans started supporting Chelsea because we had developed this winning culture, and that's all they're used to, winning. And so, what I got to tell everyone, all supporters out there, is like, football is cyclical. So you have your cycles. You know, I remember when I started supporting, when I started following football, Liverpool were dominating football in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And then they went 20 years without winning a league title. You know, so it can take that long. You know, Arsenal were winning league titles. Look how long they've been in the doldrums without winning anything. So, you know, Manchester United under Ferguson, they were winning season in, season out. You know, they were the most successful team under Ferguson. He's gone now.
Yeah.
How long has it been since they've won a title? 10 years, is it now? Going on 10 years or more.
That's what people don't understand. It goes around. It's always been like this.
That's what I'm saying.
We were the worst when they become the best. Liverpool had to turn United, Arsenal, Tottenham, even in the 60s. Tottenham, though.
Tottenham, I wouldn't put Tottenham in that bracket. One league and one cup,
Tottenham we can laugh at all the time. One thing you can laugh at is Tottenham Hotspur. But you know, it goes around like you said. People have to understand.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly. So, and we have got no divine right. Okay. Where we failed was, I think someone said it earlier, I can't remember it was, with Manchester City. The way Manchester City, they looked what we did and they said, we're going to do it better. That's what they did. They took our model because we had, you know, we were getting the best youngsters throughout the world. Manchester City started to go and scout for the best youngsters and everything else. But where they were better than us is that they had a long-term plan, and we did this hiring and firing, and the hiring and firing can get you so far, but there's going to come a point where it's going to catch up with you. And what's the problem is what's happened, and the reason why we are not as successful as we you know, now is because when Roman came, there wasn't as many competitors in the market. So Roman can go out and buy who we want, not who we wanted, because like we still weren't getting Galacticos, but we were getting good players, and we're creaming off players from the best of the Premier League. Apart from obviously Arsenal, Manchester United, but we were getting the best players from West Ham, Newcastle, etc., etc. So we were able to do that. But when TV money became bigger in the Premier League, other clubs didn't need to sell their best players. You know, for instance, if let's say Roman came in now and say that the money wasn't as big as it was now because of TV, he would have gone out and got Declan Rice for about 25 million, 30 million, because West Ham would have needed the money, so they'd have sold him for that much. He would have gone out and got, say, Maddison for 10, 15 million pounds or something like that. So that's what we're dealing with back in the day. But now those they don't need the money; they're self-sufficient. So if they so what they're doing, they're saying if you want our player, you're paying top dollar for it. That's actually saw Jack Grealish went for 100 million. You know, if we wanted Declan Rice last season, 150 million or something ridiculous was quoted for him. So we need to be a lot smarter in the way that we operate now. And that's why sort of other clubs have kind of caught up. If you look at some of the managers managing in this league now, we've not only got some of the best players in this league, we've got some of the best managers in this league. So you need to think, you know, we can't be just trying to buy our way out of trouble all the time. We need a sustained plan. We need a proper system, and we need like a good director of football with a good philosophy of how we want to play, and that's the only way that we're going to get back long term. You know, I mentioned it on just the space that we were on yesterday. Certified was hosting, and I said it. You know, with what Arsenal are doing now, they're setting up a base where they're showing patience to their manager. And 3 years, because remember, last couple of years ago, they were the laughing stock, weren't they? People were laughing at Arteta. They're saying Arteta out, he's useless. What's he doing here? He's a B-Tech, Pep Guardiola, and all sorts, you know. But Arsenal stuck with him, and what you're seeing now is that's why they're starting to. Everyone knows what their role is at Arsenal. What you saw yesterday was a well-oiled machine, 3 years in the making. And you know, I'm not saying they're going to win the league this season. Of course, you've got Manchester City to deal with, but they are now a team that you have to take seriously. Yesterday showed that they are here to. Okay, they've been fortunate with injuries. They haven't had a lot of injuries yet. They've got some tougher tests to come when they play in the Europa League, but they are, you know, a side now which you can't call a laughing stock anymore, and that's because of the way that they've allowed him to build his own squad. Potter hasn't been able to build his squad yet. Okay, so he needs time to be able to build his squad, work with them on the training ground, and then judge him. The only thing I would say about Potter, which is that he needs to not fall into the same trap as Thomas Tuchel, because he's kind of playing some players out of position. I know we've had injuries and everything else, but for me, the advice I'll give to him is choose a system. Don't keep chopping and changing. I know you're trying to find a system, but believe in the system, play to that system, put the players in who can play in that system, and just work with it, go with it, so that then you'll get the players will start to get used to the way you want to play. But when we're chopping and changing, because yesterday it looked like a team who were devoid of ideas, tactics, didn't know what they were meant to be doing, didn't know what their role was. Okay, so you know, even if you've got two systems that you go to, a plan A and a plan B system, yeah. So you work on those systems on the training field until the players get used to it, because they, you know, if you look at a Pep team, if you look at a Klopp team, and even now you look at Arsenal, their players can play with their eyes closed because they know where everyone is. It's instinctive football. You know, we are thinking too much about where our players are not moving off the ball. We're taking too long on the ball. That's where the first goal came from, because Silva didn't have anyone to pass the ball to. So in trying to find a passing option,
Max.
Jesus came, stole the ball off him.
Yeah, Max. That's another factor in the way we play. It's just that the players are taking too long to make decisions because they don't have the option. So they're just looking around, and then there you go. Arsenal players just ready pressing you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly, and they know
That's what
where
frustrates me.
that's it. But they were positioned in the right place. That comes on the training field. They knew they knew their job. Everyone knew their role at Arsenal. You could see that it's been well thought out, well coached, because they all knew their role. They all knew what they needed to do. With our players, they look like lost
Yeah,
puppies.
the reason why I'm annoyed is because it's this game against Arsenal where you know you need to be putting more fight than the way you do, and performances like this, and there's a point Stav made that I agree with as well. But then Stab made some great points, and there was one thing I didn't agree with, which was the players playing like this because of the World Cup. There's the World Cup's no excuse. If you look at Man City and Arsenal, I like and other teams as well. Most of their players do have World Cup starting players, and obviously everyone's worried about World Cup, but it doesn't mean you don't give your 100% in the team. If we're the only team that does that, then what does that explain to you?
Yeah, but having said that, because Stav does have a point in effect. The reason I'm saying that is because we've had, you don't underestimate the psyche of players. Had Reece James not got injured, had Fofana not got injured, we've had another. Who's the other one? Chilwell. If those players hadn't got injured, then maybe we'll have a different mindset. If a Man City player had a big injury, then maybe the players be thinking, "Hold on, I don't want to go be like that player, so I'm going to sort of not play as hard because and that's I think because our squad has got
It
three
makes
major
sense now.
injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That
that's
makes
what I
sense.
think. Yeah, from that
It makes
basis.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. So yeah. So for me, my final point is Stav still on. Is Stav on? Because I just want to address something with regarding De Bruyne. With the De Bruyne case, so I agree to some things that Stav was saying about De Bruyne, but there was another thing which I have to say about this situation. De Bruyne has put his hand up and said yes, he could have acted differently, acted a bit more professional, but Jose also has to take some of the blame for the De Bruyne situation. And the reason why I say that is because De Bruyne started the first game against Hull, played brilliantly, and then he was dropped for no reason. And Schürrle was had his place. He wasn't even on the bench for a couple of games, so he was training hard and he was doing well in training. But then Jose still didn't pick him. Then he picked him. I think it was against Swindon in a cup game, and De Bruyne did admit he could have acted better, but he was thinking, he saw it as an insult sort of thing to be picked for this game and not being involved in the league games, etc. After he had done nothing wrong to be left out of the side in the first place. So I do think that had he been managed better by Mourinho, then it would have been a better relationship and we'd have got the best out of De Bruyne. But I said De Bruyne was partly to blame because he could have had a better attitude towards being left out. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. I'll let everyone else speak now.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Certified.
Yeah.
Let me just
Yeah, go
answer
on.
certified. Certified, you're
Yeah.
still there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I didn't say it's right that they are like that, but it's just the way it is, right? That's the way some players are, right? I never said it was right, and it irritates the crap out of me, right? When I see them doing it leading up to the last few weeks before World Cup or the European Championship or whatever. They don't want to get injured. They've already been called into that 55. Every country's been allowed 55 players. They get into that 55. They don't want to get injured and end up out of it, like Chilwell, obviously. I'm not saying Chilwell wasn't trying, but that's happened to Chilwell. It puts it into the back of other people's minds, right? I'm not saying it's right, yeah, but anyway, that's that bit. I want to respond to Max, right? At the end of the day, if you're asked to play in a Carabao Cup or was it Carling Cup or whatever the hell it was then, right? It's changed its name that often, right? Then that's where you play. And you go out and you prove your point, right? It doesn't matter whether you can't be insulted because he dropped you, right? Everybody, all those players that I named, I think there's 6 of them, right? Yeah, they were all in and out of the team, right? And they were all dropped, they were all put back in, right? It's a test, right? If Mourinho thinks he's got a mentality issue, he will test him, right? He did it to Joe Cole, right? Joe Cole scored the winner twice against Liverpool, right? And he still dug him out because he wanted to see what he had, right? And then he turned around and he said to Joe Cole, and Joe Cole's have made it, right? He said that, I want, whatever you did, I know you can do better, right? Now, the other players accepted it, right? But De Bruyne was the worst one, right? And they all ended up going, all 6 ended up going to the World Cup, right? And their chances weren't ruined by the fact that they missed the game here, they missed the game there. I don't care what the competition is. If the manager puts you in because he wants you in that game, right? You don't think it's an insult, sorry, Max. You don't think it's an insult because he's thrown you in. I take your point about Hull, right? The game against Hull and now, right? But he actually played 3 games, right? Not 2, right?
Yeah, the first 3, yeah.
Yeah, right. But you then take the challenge. You don't go and sulk, right? And then say that you're insulted or whatever. Look at some of the things Jose did to Joe Cole, right? Because he's trying to get the best out of him. He was testing him.
Yeah.
Any player who's played under him, any player who's played under him has said that, right? All this nonsense that he lost the players first time around. There's not a single player who turned around and said they didn't want to play for Jose. That was Roman and Avram Grant, right? Cheesing him off by not letting him buy the players he wanted. So that's what that goes to. But every player, right? Bar players at Real Madrid. There's even players at Real Madrid who like Jose, right? Ozil, the ex-Liverpool fullback, I can't remember his name. There's Modric, there's 5 or 6 players. And that's the problem, is that the team became splintered, right? It was divided into 2 camps. And it was the same thing second time around for Jose, right? But any player with any decency would just accept this decision and get out there, and the next time you go on the pitch, you prove him wrong, right? And that's what the others did. If what Oscar was dropped, he went out and proved him wrong, right? Schürrle became a world champion despite being in and out of the team, right? They accepted it and they took the challenge, right? But De Bruyne still goes on about it even now, right? I'm sick and tired of picking up something on social media. Well, he's still going on about them. Guess what, right? He dropped you and he gave you the balls to go somewhere else and try and prove him wrong. So he achieved something, right? He still achieved something. So I prefer players, right, who take up the challenge and try and prove the manager wrong. And that's what Jose did.
De Bruyne did admit that he was wrong. He was young, he was immature in the way he acted. He's put his hand up.
And that's what Jose said as well, isn't it?
But all I'm saying is that he could have given him a bit more opportunity, because if he was playing badly and got dropped, then I'd understand. But what I'm saying is that from that perspective, even if he's on the bench,
But then going on in the League Cup game, right, and he hit the corner flag with a shot. I remember that game. He hit the corner flag with a shot.
There, was he? He wasn't trying. He wasn't trying.
Then he should have been trying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His attitude was all wrong in the way that he reacted to.
Yeah, and Jose is not going to accept that. Right? We know Jose is not going to. But even now, what is it? 10 years later, whatever the hell it is, right? Speak to Tammy Abraham, right? And he's waxing lyrical about Jose even now, because he brings the best out of the players. He went to Real Madrid. He stopped the Barcelona domination, even if it was only for 1 or 2 years, right? And the only other there, he failed at Man United, but that was because of Pogba and Shaw and punters like that who think there's something special, right?
Start finish your point. I want to read the chat, and I want to move to Dex and Centify and welcome Dan as well. Just finish your point.
I got one thing to say to Dex, right? Is he still there? Yeah, he's still there. He's hands cupped to the ears, right? Dex, it doesn't matter who comes in, right? And everybody needs to realise this now. Yeah, Newcastle, Man City, Chelsea, PSG, everybody, right? By 2024, right? The spending's gonna be lighter. People are gonna have to start looking at what they spend. Right, the rules are more rigid, right, and that's why, right, Bowley, because remember Bowley mentioned it, didn't he? One of the first things when he came, he mentioned FFP, right? So it shows that he does know things that people think he knows nothing, right? And that's why he wanted Tuchel to work with Neil Bath in the academy, because sooner or later you're going to have to start bringing these academy players through, right? So we've got a head start in that cycle, and so have Arsenal, because they've brought their young players through. Anyway, go on. Go on, Dex.
Let me just read a bit, 1 minute, Dex. Let me just read a few comments from Tobago. There's some good ones here, actually. Let's start with this one. I'm glad Chelsea will get a technical director that will build a structure so that we can plan for future transfers. Hope he will be announced before the World Cup starts, because I want structure. I think we all agree with you there. I want to keep this text here. If Graham Potter gets it right and get the boys cooking in the near future, those who are saying Potter out, you're in the mud. Yeah, it could well happen. Another point there. Let's go to Dex. Then we can go to Danny's who just come in not long ago. Certify as well. Yeah, go ahead, Dex.
Yeah, so like obviously I've been listening for like the last couple of hour or so. Pretty much like everything that Stav said just now about where everything's going on with Chelsea. Like I definitely agree. I feel like with Chelsea at the moment, obviously, they're and this isn't this is the reality, and I have said this before. Like Chelsea are in a transition period. Like there's no sugarcoating it or buttering it up.
Yeah,
it's the clear reality. Like they're starting from scratch. They're starting fresh. New manager, new owner, new structure, new direction of the club. All sorts of things. Going forward and building. Like at the end of the day, you can't expect anything of any with all those things like in account. You can't expect it to be like it was like in the previous seasons. It being the same where they go and compete. Every year for stuff and trying and winning trophies. Like it's impossible. It's like a far reality. Like did Klopp win anything in his first year? When he first came to Liverpool with a Brendan Rodgers side? No, he didn't. It took him a good 4 or 5 years to build that team up and get them competing. And obviously Chelsea can do the same, but the fans have got to be a bit patient. They got to get behind the team a little bit as well. I know it's hard with everything at the moment, but that's the reality in life of football. You go through highs and you go through lows. That's the whole thing of being a football fan. It's pretty much what you live for, really.
exactly.
And like with Chelsea at the moment, yes, the team are letting the fans down and they're not performing to par. But like Stav said, this is Thomas Tuchel's team. These are the players he's brought in. When he was in charge. Potter hasn't had. He's had to deal with what he's had, and he's doing his best. He's even trying to change formations and change it up and play and move people around. But at the end of the day, I think there's a bit of credibility in that. What Potter's trying to do, I think from my eyes, I think he's moving these players around in different positions and stuff to see what they could be in this new setup he's trying to play. Now, obviously, early signs that some of these players can't do the roles or they can't play the positions, that's just a clear indication to the manager that, okay, right, so this player can't be in my plans because they can't do this job or role properly or they can't seem to fundamentally do it right. So pretty much already given the manager a clear indication that, they got no future of the club whatsoever or in the team. Now, in terms of the Arsenal game overall, the Arsenal game, obviously, Chelsea didn't turn up. Arsenal at the moment they're high, they're flying high at the moment. They're on a good run of form. You know, they got players playing well in form. You know, Arteta's managed to get 2 or 3 seasons to build from where when he first came in. You know, and now the signs are starting to show, you know, that he could possibly do something with his Arsenal team. Whether or not he can or not, barring injuries, we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, Chelsea got a few injuries out as well, which obviously for Potter is not fundamentally great in the moment because, you know, you've got like the likes of Reece James and all these other players, you know, that are important to the team and how Chelsea want to play. So, you know, it's all different. It's all different. You know, it's all different things really that is going wrong. But at the end of the day, you know, it's like what Sav says. You know, just give him till January, see what he could do with the new players that come in, and then you know people can start questioning him. And then when next season comes, that's where you know the crunch time really, the whole you know questioning and debating and thinking that he's ready to take the big time job. You know, we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, just finally on Sam's point about the whole, you know, the whole us selling and all that. You know, obviously, I said it before in the previous before the show. Like the thing is, like Stab with FSG, you know, it's been a long time coming. You know, yes, they've done some good for the club, but at the same time, they don't care about Liverpool. They don't. They care more about the Boston Red Sox in America. You know, that's where all their money and all their investment goes into, and that's one of the reasons why John W. Henry is selling the club. And the other reason is that they know and this is actually from reliable sources around the club. That one of the main reasons that they want to sell is because they know with the likes of Newcastle and City, they can't financially compete. You know how the market's going. So at the same time, that's a sensible decision for them because I'd rather them make a sensible decision rather than delay the inevitable and then end up not trying to compete in the market. So we need to have that. We need to have that owner that's got the money, but it's also in line with the ambition of the club with Liverpool, because you know Liverpool as a club as a whole, you know, it's for the fans. You know, as a fan club, that's what Liverpool strives off. You know, it's a working class fan club. At the end of the day, you know, majority of the fans in Liverpool, they're all working class and they all work hard to go watch the games. So you know they deserve better. We deserve better. So you know, hopefully we'll get the right owner in. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say for now, really.
Yeah, Dex, I agree with you. Liverpool, you know, they've always been like that. It was one fan base you can be that about is Liverpool. I would say with and Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. I know what their fans are like. I've been to every single ground, and I know. And yeah, and they are
Newcastle.
working class. They haven't changed. Let's move to Dan because he has a sort of word, and then I'll go to certified. Then Max again and stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you, bro.
So my headset's buggered, man. Yeah, basically, this Chelsea process we need to get on the way. But I just wanted to quickly ask Staff something. Yeah, it's no
Yeah,
nothing
go.
to
Yeah, you
offend,
can ask.
to offend me, mate. Right? I heard you say something about Mason Mount. Stats from last season. Yeah, so many goals. I was wondering if you're in charge, could you send me that stats, please? Because we had this Matt guy, yeah, said that Mason Mount hasn't had, he's been crap for the last 2 seasons. He didn't score no goals last season, and the last
Speak up, I can't hear you.
He said that he hasn't scored no goals for the last past seasons. It's been shocking. But I was just wondering if you could send the stats to Tony, so you could send it to me, so I could put the stats up when I have Matt on for next time. Just tell him that Mason Mount is actually did score last season. So many goals last season. Because he's put on a Twitter page, yeah, telling everyone that Mason has been rubbish for the last 2 seasons.
He was our top goal scorer last season. I mean,
But apparently
second
he's saying
top.
he did nothing for the last 2 seasons.
He had double
Can't hear.
digits goals. He had double-digit goals and assists last season.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because we tried to tell it that
Yeah.
on someone's show, yeah, the earlier, but he's making out on Twitter that he's only done so much this season. He's only scored two, and he's done crap. And then last season he did nothing apart from the other season he was good.
who's that? Matt? Then he's the Australian guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything
Oh
about
yeah,
football.
the
I wouldn't even
Matt.
argue with him.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
Nah,
anything
he don't
about
know
football.
No,
football.
You
Man.
on
He
about
doesn't know.
Dopey
I'm
Matt?
arguing with you.
You on about Dopey Matt?
Matt, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt has
Yes,
his
it's about
favourites, right?
Dopey Matt.
Yeah. Matt has his
Oh, God.
favourites, and he'll argue the toss no matter what, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing
Oh,
factual,
yeah.
nothing factual about him.
Yeah.
Right? He's a tick.
Yeah.
I think
Let's,
he's either
let's forget,
Australian.
man. Stuff. Let's go to Certify because he wants to talk a bit as
Go on.
well. Certify, go ahead.
Yeah.
And let's Dan, you finish.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hold on to Certify.
I think that's finished.
Yeah. I thought you left.
Let JK have a response because I've been.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead, Certify.
I need to.
Yeah, about Mason Mount. I do think this season he's not been doing well, and last season he was okay. He was just not great. Do you get what I'm saying? Despite the numbers, because I'm a person who watches players above the numbers and performances, and I look at their efficiency in games. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think my problem is it's not like Mason Mount was horrible last season. The thing is what our fans are comparing him to. That's just the thing. I'm not saying anyone here, but certain fans, they're just saying he's the next generation talent of Lampard, and he's just like Cruyff and everything. No, he's not. That's just my problem. That's just my problem.
Yeah.
Certified.
These ridiculous comparisons. That's just the thing. Yeah.
Certified, Nick. Hang on a minute.
Yes, Stav. Yes, Stav.
Nick, hang on a minute. Certified.
Yeah.
The comparison's been made, right? Because and you said you don't like looking at a player because of stats and stuff like that. The comparison's been made because his stats, right, are equal to Lampard's first years at Chelsea, and Lampard was a more experienced player. He'd already played for West Ham and that, right? And ultimately, I've seen comments regarding, right, on social media, they don't like him, he's too greedy, he's this, he's that, right? He's only got for himself. And yet, he still had the most assists for us last season. So what does that make everybody else, right? You have to look at his game, right? And then you have to look at the expectations that a particular coach might have of him, and then judge him, right? We keep hearing people saying, oh, but nobody wants to shoot from outside the box. Nobody wants to do this. Nobody wants to do that. And then when he does it, he's being greedy, right? A lot of his goals have been from distance and from outside the box. He's not a tapping merchant, is he? Right? And he's...
I never said that.
No, I never said anything.
Yeah, when it's stuff, hold on. When it's stuff, let's Certify carry on. Yeah, we're trying to say, I agree with Certify. He's not, he has stats and all that. Doesn't mean everything. His performances are absolutely
that's just it.
Rubbish.
Yeah, here's a quick one. Can I just?
It don't mean anything.
Can I just get something in really quickly?
Yeah.
I think the problem is with Mason Mount is it's just either black or white, isn't it? Some people think he's a lot better than what he actually is. Some people think he's worse than he actually is.
Yeah, that's
for me. He's somewhere.
I think he's a lot better.
For me, he's somewhere in the. He's somewhere in the middle. He's a good player. He's not a generational talent, so you can't put him in there. He's not world class. He's just a good professional. That's what I see him as, a good professional. He's not rubbish, but he's not brilliant.
He's good. Let's just say he's good.
He can follow
when you don't play,
exactly.
when you don't show up for a big game like yesterday, we go as fans.
And that was the whole team.
The players.
And it's the whole team, yeah. That's the thing.
Big game. And when Mason Mount, who should show up, doesn't,
But Nick, my point is, and Stav, my point is as well, the whole team was horrible. And I know this. This is a team sport. Do you get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then what? And there's something that I think someone mentioned about us backing the whole team, not picking out. We have a lot of stands in these players. We need to realize, and they as well. Those stands such as Mason Mount and Havertz. We have a lot of them in our fan base because of this certain run we had in the Champions League, which I think they were class in. Do you get what I'm saying? The season I thought Mount was class and I enjoyed watching him was under the behind closed doors when Tuchel came in. Do you get what I'm saying? But I don't know if it was something because of the manager's just come in and he wanted to prove something. And the Champions League run as well was I actually liked him as well. And that goal against Liverpool, the performance he had at Liverpool's ground at Anfield, I'll never forget. Hey, I love those days, man. When he was scoring
And
those
we know
bangers.
that's the problem. The problem is we know what he can do. And when you don't
That's the
come out
thing.
of that
That's the thing.
tunnel
You know
with
he can do.
and don't show up at
That's the
all,
thing now.
that's
Because people off of
same
now,
with
they don't want to look like of reality of these type of
not just
players,
in Mount.
and they're not doing well. And they look back at these days, and because of these days, they just have these type of feeling that no, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I'm not saying it's Mount's fault, but sometimes certain players need to take accountability for what they've done in games as well. We do have to realize when I was watching the game, I watched this game twice. I'm not having to go I'm just saying anything. Just saying something. When a certain player, like you see Mason Mount in the game, he's been losing possession. And sometimes that left Cucurella isolated in that first half. If you looked at it, do you know what I'm saying? Therefore, Cucurella, in my opinion, wasn't bad. It's just Mount was playing on that left-hand side, which I don't think he plays normally. And he's been losing the ball. Do you get what I'm saying? Therefore, it will be leading to these breaks that Arsenal come from. Like, Thomas Partey will have him in his pocket. And then, for instance, he will bring it to Saka. Saka will take the ball off him. And those factors also contribute to the reason why Arsenal dominated that second half. Not only him, the midfield as well. Loftus-Cheek, in my opinion, and Jorginho did okay in that game, I can say.
He did
But
all right,
also,
but one man can't do nothing. That's the problem.
that's the thing. It's not only that's the thing. Then there's Havertz as well, who made silly decisions in the final third.
He was awful yesterday, JK, bro. He was crap yesterday.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I would blame the manager. I would blame the manager for this game as well. But because he did start Kovacic and everything. But in my opinion, I don't wanna go too much on Potter because the way people are doing is because Potter, if you look at it, he's only been here for 2 months. His first time in a club, which is toxic environment for a manager to work in. Do you get what I'm saying? And he's still trying to figure out what his best squad is. I know he's done it in the wrong game, but it's still up to the players to make it a bit easier for him, just that at least put in that fight in these type of games. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not always the manager. That's why I keep saying to people on the spaces. It's not always the manager. The manager. Sometimes
make them.
Sometimes, like Kai Havertz, for example, in the final third, do you think it's a manageable thing for Kai Havertz to just cross the ball when it could just easily be rolled? We played football. It's common sense. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just basic common sense things. These players are not doing, and we blame the manager for it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not always them. And people saying Potter out. No.
Potter's only lost 2 games.
That's a
Potter's only lost 2 games.
And people are saying Potter out. And we don't even. And because of this, I've seen people on Twitter go like, oh my goodness, if Jorginho was able to run up the pitch and support Mount, maybe the loss of possession would have made Saka run down that left-hand side. How? That's what I don't like. The stands. Like protecting one player just to support for another one. It don't make sense. Exactly. They blamed Kai Havertz for Aubameyang's positioning. Aubameyang's positioning was good. It was Havertz's fault. And people say if Aubameyang's positioning was good, that's what I don't like. I just don't like it when people don't blame the whole team, especially the stands that we all know we want to protect. They haven't been doing well.
Yeah.
It's just this thing, the delusion. That's the thing.
Havertz.
Certified.
Havertz didn't do nothing wrong yesterday. he didn't do nothing wrong yesterday. Sorry, Steph, just quickly, yeah. Harris didn't do nothing wrong. He actually helped back the defence and actually took back 6 or 5
He took
balls out of the.
he done
If
one.
that,
He
But at
got
the end
one
of the
head
day,
so
past
his
the
final
box.
third decision
Havertz
making
didn't do
wasn't good.
Yeah,
excuse me, I got a comment. Havertz didn't do
yeah,
anything wrong. If everyone's Havertz, we
go on.
should have been
He did
tuning
do
out before
something
Arsenal
wrong. In the
even
final third, he
scored.
was horrible.
Listen, that he should have
Yeah,
cut back to
final third.
Aubameyang.
Final third.
He now listen. He needed to cut back to Aubameyang when he was and he skied that. I don't know what he was doing with that pass. He had no vision, and
Yeah,
even that one we
the
shot
cross,
at the
he slid it.
goalkeeper,
Yes,
and
yes,
that
man.
one he should have
Exactly.
also squared it into the box. So these are the moments that you call. You're paying 70 million for, but these are the moments that you need your players to turn up. The
And
issue
it's
with
not
us,
denying that. We can't keep
and
pampering these players all
yeah,
the
that's what I'm
time.
saying.
Do you get
And
what I'm
that's the same.
saying?
That's the same with
Yeah,
Mount
so
as
Matt,
well,
so
which I
when
got
that
decision. If our decision making, hold on, let me talk, and then you can.
Mm.
The
Okay, boys.
decision making in the final third is what is killing this team at the moment. It's
Max,
killing our team. It killed us under 3 different managers. When we get into the
Max,
final
Yeah,
third, we're either taking poor shots or making poor decisions, and that's it. We need to
Max.
have better. Yeah, go on.
Do you know the sad thing is? Those are not
Yeah,
Those are not manageable factors. They're common
mm,
sense. It's
exactly.
common sense.
Managers have got nothing to
I
do with
played
that.
football.
Yeah.
I know this.
yeah,
It's
Mm.
common sense, bro.
And
From
of
the
we've
course.
got
assist from
we had 3
Aubameyang,
managers scratching their
Matt.
heads at this because they set them up to do something. They're all scratching their heads because they say, look, these players are not finishing their chances. I've listened to interviews because I'm making a video on the player mentality at the minute. I'll probably put it out tomorrow, but I was listening to interviews from 4 different managers at Chelsea, and a lot of them were just saying the same thing. We had a lot of possession, lots of chances, but we just couldn't finish off our chances or put that
Yeah.
final ball in, and that's the issue.
Yeah, and
To
Tuchel had
that
to come out and
2-yard
say that so many
pass,
times.
pass a ball, like who was it? 7-yard pass he had to do. Was it Havertz?
Yeah, Nick.
To give it to Aubameyang, and Aubameyang was going, his
Do
arms.
you
It
know
reminded me
how?
of Lukaku with his arms going up and going, "What's going on here?" He was 7 yards out. Havertz blasted the ball over the bar.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
there was one point. There was one point in last season, right, where Havertz didn't pass to Lukaku even once, and the media decided to take it and turn it into they've got issues with each other and stuff like that.
And
But
not
that's
just
like what Matt
Havertz, staff.
That's what
What
Matt
about
said. That's what
Mason
Matt
Mount in
said.
the box? Mason Mount was in the box two
Nick,
yards out, and he didn't pass
Nick.
it to Lukaku.
Wait,
Yeah,
can I
I
just say
was at the
something?
game. I'll never
To
forget.
Stav's point.
Yeah.
Stav, can I make a
Yeah.
point you made?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go. Yeah,
So you're right. The media actually does hate Chelsea. As today, I think on our group, Nick, and in the Twitter, on the Twitter thing group chat, I saw I think it was Seventh Chamber. He put something about Chalobah saying what Potter said in the dressing room. I think he was saying something about how this performance was acceptable and how we should go on from here. This performance doesn't reflect you as this. And bro, do you get what I'm saying? I don't know why these sources are trying to create like wind up the Chelsea fans a lot because of this, certain Twitter Chelsea fans have been saying Potter out because of this. They were saying, that's the thing.
Certified. It's been going on for ages, right? It's donkey's years they've done that to us. I just want to make a point to like sort of back up what Max said as well, right? Like go back to last season, right? Ziyech started 16 league games, right? He created 27 goal scoring chances and we only converted 4, right? That's when he obviously, right? So the creation is there if you use the right people to create it. But we're asking people like Mason Mount and Gallagher and all these people, right, who are ball carriers. They're basically ball carriers from midfield, right? And we're asking them to be crossing the ball, creating chances and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, if you're in the box and there's a man to the side of you 6 foot away. Yeah, give it to him, right? But we're also asking these guys to create chances that they're not there for, right? So this is why you see people like Pulisic, why you see people like Ziyech, right, getting frustrated because they're not playing. They're the chance creators from wide. And when you're playing against low block teams, that's where your chances have to come from. You have to spread the defence, open the gaps. Take the 3 games against Tottenham last season when we played with a back 4, right? And we opened them up time and time again, right? 1-touch, 2-touch football. We moved it quickly. People moved around, right? Pulisic and Ziyech were on fire, right? That's in the back 4, right? They're both going to end up going anyway, right? Because they've become too disillusioned. But they're the ones who are there to be the creators, right? Attacking mids, they're ball carriers, and they're there to get on the end of creations. There's support for the front man, or 2 if you're playing 2 up front, right? That's what those players are there for, right? Like Lampard. Lampard lived on it, didn't he? Right? He fed off Robin and Duff and Joe Cole. They fed Drogba. If Drogba could finish, he would finish. If he couldn't, he then fed Essien, Ballack, right, and Lampard. And that's what they're there for. But we're asking players who are ball carriers, right, and finishers, right, from distance like that, to do the stuff that wingers should be doing, right? This is why some managers play wing backs, because they expect them to provide the creativity and the creation of chances. But a wing back who's predominantly a full back being played in that position isn't going to be as creative as a natural winger, right? This is why I hate that 3 system at the back. I prefer 4 at the back. It's more solid, right? And then you can have 1 DM, but you have to have the right guy to do that, right? And you have 2 attacking mids who push in behind the striker and the wingers and support. But they're ball carriers from the middle of the park. We don't carry the ball from the middle of the park, do we? There's no creation from the midfield, right? There's no transition, right, from the midfield, right? And that's one of our issues. So, like I said, Ziyech and Pulisic are going to go. The fact that they're frustrated, right? And the one other point I want to make about that, right, is Ziyech came on, didn't he? Was it against Wolves or someone like that?
No, Brighton, I think. Yeah.
No. This was earlier in the season, right? He come on. This is at Stamford Bridge. He's going down the byline, right? And there's people leaning out of the crowd, slagging him off, right? And
that was the
slating
game.
him.
I was there at that game. It was Wolves.
And he's only just come on.
No, sorry, it was Leicester. Leicester at home. Because I'll never
but
forget.
He only just come on, Nick.
They were
Nick, he only just come on.
Yeah, but they were at him because he missed an easy chance.
The missed, no, hang on, Nick. Nick, hang on. Hang on, Nick. Yeah. I'm sorry. The missed chance was later. I'm on about the minute he come on the pitch. First touch he had wide. There was people in the West Stand leaning over and giving him stick, right?
Yeah, there
now,
was some.
You know why that is, Dave, don't you?
That doesn't help, does it?
You know why that is?
Why?
That is because, again, it's the media stirring things up, because the story with his dad, wasn't it? And then,
that's nice.
And these Chelsea so-called supporters, because I've been Chelsea when I used to go quite a lot. I never ever be with a player. I don't care what a player. We had a guy. I'm sure you guys know him. Was it Jokanovic? Under Ranieri, and every time his name was called, the crowd used to boo him before he even played. And I'm thinking, what good does that do to the player's confidence? I said, that is so ridiculous.
And he became a great player.
Yeah.
Then everyone loved him after match.
Can I make a point about Jokanovic, right?
Yeah.
Because he mentioned him here, right? Because Max mentioned him, right? When we played Tottenham in the first leg of the Rumbelows Cup, I think it was then, right? He had Sherwood in his pocket, right? And if Sherwood had the piece the freedom that he'd had before, we would have lost that game. That's the first leg, and we went and won 3-0 in the second game. But the thing about Jokanovic, I'm sat, right, at Derby in the away end, obviously, right? And Jokanovic committed a foul and got booked. And two twits sat in front of me, right? Ones who should know better were shouting, send him off, send him off. He's no effing use, he's no this, he's no that. What's that? All right, you didn't hear that, but I did. And I ended up getting in a bus stop with him, right? I wasn't having it. I ended up getting in a bus stop with him. Stop and think before you open your frigging mouth. You know what I mean?
We have fans like that.
Yeah.
Good. What about the who was it? Jorginho. Yeah, I never forget. I was there when they were, when they were. No, it was Aspie, and Aspie went mad. End of the game, some fans, especially
and then he lost his rag with him.
Yeah, especially
he lost his rag with him, didn't he?
Was not far. I was a few seats away from this idiot in the West Stand, and he really said some really bad, nasty things about Aspie.
Yeah.
We all stood up, we didn't like. Most of us didn't like it. Aspie's a legend. And
how can you shout at a player like that?
He came over to him, and he said what he had to say to him. He couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it on the TV.
You see it, and they threw him out in the end. That idiot. They threw him out, out of the club. He will never go to Chelsea again. Never. Yeah, that was disgraceful.
Mario Stanic is another one. Max, you remember him? Mario Stanic
is
another one.
Yeah, scored a great goal in his debut, didn't he?
Yeah, Melchior got stick. A lot of them players got stick. Mario Melchior, you remember him? Another one. Some fans, didn't like when he had a bad game or something happened. A lot of them, didn't like him. But
if you go further back,
Keith Dublin as well. Keith Dublin, Doug Movie.
If you go further back, Max, you remember this. Yeah, you two remember this. If you go further back, Darren Wood, people used to give him stick.
Yeah.
But that's not going to motivate him, is it? It's not going to get him going. No, and the thing is, with Darren Wood, the thing is, Max, you'll remember this, with Darren Wood, right? If there was any hassle on the pitch, he was the first one in backing up his teammates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
I got to watch him at Middlesbrough as well, and he was nowhere near as bad as some people make him out to be. Right? He wasn't great. He wasn't world class. He wasn't this or that. But then we didn't have any world class players, did we? At the end of the day, right? At that point.
No. Right? Probably getting it right back in this team, wouldn't they? With Reece James out.
Yeah. So the thing is, right? Get behind the players, right? I've mentioned Jorginho more than once. I've given reasons why he doesn't. For me, he doesn't give us anything. But if I'm at the stadium, I'm not going to shout at him from the side of the stand.
No.
Right, slagging him off.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's mostly the staff. Look, it's mostly the young fans of us who slug players off. I never see
nowadays. It's
I really rarely
it's
see
the Twitter abuse.
My age, your age, or Max's age slagging players off because we want the team to win. Some fans, young ones, they don't know what they're talking about.
Do you know? Hang on a minute, Nick. Do you know how many Facebook pages I've left? Chelsea ones, right?
I don't know.
And it's older guys as well, right? Oh, I don't want Potter, right? Pub manager. He's not Chelsea. He's not good enough. He's not this. He's not that. And that's older people, right? And they're judging him.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I don't use Facebook. I don't know about the fans in Facebook, but we see enough on Twitter.
I don't go on Twitter, right?
Yeah,
but I'm on Facebook. No, I wasn't on much. I go on Facebook because I run a page on Facebook.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I don't.
I run a page on Facebook.
I had a Facebook before. I told you, but I couldn't. When you told me to find that group, I couldn't find it, so I just gave up.
Well,
when you said,
it's
remember you told me that group of yours.
Yeah, it's old school. It's Chelsea FC old school.
I couldn't get it. So.
Abramovich. Right? And I don't let anybody in, just anybody, right?
All right.
I always check everyone, right? There's no like from other continents and all that. They're all like the majority of British players or Australian expats, stuff like that, right? People who were going in the old days and have a sense of reality, right, and level-headedness. But now even the older fans, right, are starting to slag off players. Right? I mean, somebody the other day I got into an argument with someone. Right? He goes, "Oh, and get rid of that Ziyech. Right? Are we going to win things with people like Ziyech and Pulisic?" Ziyech's played 25 minutes in total under Potter in his 11 games now. I think Potter, innit? He's played 25 minutes in total. So what the hell has Ziyech got to do with the way we currently performing? Right? They just pick people out, pluck them out the air, and just attack any player. You know what I mean? I can't be doing with them. You know what I'm saying?
We have our friend, the Stav, our friend Ty talks, say big up Stav and Burton ballers. Thanks to Ty.
Hey, Ty. How you doing, man?
Channel. It's also, and he's not forgetting you, Dex. Big up.
Certified. Where have you gone?
Certified left. He had to go. He had to leave. He said he had to go. Earlier. That's why he
I got to run
was,
as well now, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right,
I've got
Max.
a couple of things to do.
We're going to finish in a minute anyway.
Yeah, it's only 3 hours anyway.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Bye,
Max. Max, before you go, right?
Yeah.
I check you every day or whenever you post something, right? I'm quite sure you know who I am, right? And you get 2 likes out of me. Same here.
Cheers. Yeah. All right.
All right, mate.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah. All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks, Max, for coming on, as always. Elizabeth's free. Dex, you still there? I think you are.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Let's have your final thoughts. Wait, Sam, hold on. Dex, let's have your final thoughts, and then we have Styles, and we have to end it very soon. We said everything. I think it's been a good stream. I don't know what you lot think.
Go ahead. It's been good. It's been fair, debatable. I mean, there's been a few back and forth, but it's done now, really. So, but yeah, it's been a debatable space. Obviously, like I said, with all these Chelsea fans, the thing is, and like, it happens in every single fan base. Yeah, like, I love what Stav was saying about the fan base. So many like negative hotheads and overreactionary people. The thing is, though, you get everything like that in every fan base. In Liverpool, we have so many fans like that on Twitter and everything. Like, I class them as the embarrassing clowns. Really, they're embarrassing. 1 minute they're on the up when we're winning and we're doing well, we get a good result, and then the next minute they're like all going gun ho, being negative, saying, "Oh, this guy's not good enough. Oh, we're done. Oh, it's a crisis." Like, it's just funny to listen to, really. But yeah,
it's
like
all
I
the
said,
fans. It happened. It's normal. I mean, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Yeah, we're all the same. When we lose, we go a bit crazy. We say things we shouldn't say. Like, what I was saying on the space the other day. I was, going a bit too mad, but it's just a passion we have,
No, I understand that, but like, what I'm entitling is, and you know what I'm on about, Nick. Like, I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about the fans that are always negative, like the big timers, like the YouTubers and the Twitters and all that. I'm talking about them sort of people. Like they're the sort of people that get overreaction. Like your Rory Jenningses and Chelsea Straps and all this stuff. They're the sort. Those are the people I class as idiots because they don't know nothing about football and they don't get behind the team in the low times. They always get behind them in the highs when they're doing well. That's the same with our fan base. It's, you got to be there all the time, 24/7. So, but yeah, like my final thoughts is like, just give Potter till January, like Stav says, and then see what happens, and then give them the summer window, and then everyone can have their own opinion. Everyone can judge, but you can't judge now because like I said, it's not his team, and it's it's Tuchel's team. So let's just see what happens, really.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You said it, Dex. I don't have to say it because you said it all. We have to give him time. 2 months is nothing, and like what's his name, David Edwards said today. He said, "Give us wait. We have a January window. We have the World Cup. So by February, he just meant we're gonna get players. We're gonna sort this team out.
Yeah.
And by February, when we play Dortmund, we'll be ready. Like
I
Chelsea
was
always
going
are.
to actually ask. Frank, you just reminded me of this. Yeah. I want to ask Sav this. Yeah. What's your reaction to getting drawn Dortmund in the Champions League? Do you think it's winnable, or do you not think so? Or what's your opinion?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but the thing is, even under Potter, right? We went to Salzburg. I think we're away first, aren't we? We went to Salzburg. We went to Milan.
We're away first to Dortmund. Yeah.
We did a job, right, away from home. Right, we did a job. The only blip was Salzburg at home. Right, so we did the job away. So we're capable of going to Dortmund, getting a reasonable result. Right, even if it's not a win, maybe a 1-0 or a draw or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, lose 1-0, whatever. So we are capable of doing that. And it showed that Potter learned something from the game at Stamford Bridge against Salzburg. So, yeah, I think we can get past them. But it isn't going to be easy. And then you've got the crowd, which is very volatile. Well, not volatile, vociferous or whatever. But, I mean, I follow Ajax as well. And Ajax won both legs last year, home and away, convincingly as well. Haaland played at Ajax, but he didn't play at home. So, yeah, I think we can do it. I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, definitely, we're going to walk through it. We're going to stroll through it. We're going to go on and win the Champions League and all that. I think it's a doable tie. Let's just leave it at that. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, sadly, you don't have to play
Sorry?
Yeah. You got Real Madrid.
You have to play. You should have to play Real Madrid.
Yeah, you have Real Madrid. Yeah. But you played them before, Dix.
Yeah, it's going to be February, isn't it?
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be February.
It's going to be a close game.
Yeah, it's going to be February.
I mean, Liverpool, they're going to want revenge for that final, and I can see Liverpool really putting them out. They're going to want it more, I think.
Klopp's going to have time to turn it round as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Klopp's going to have time.
Already, Liverpool, I told you, Liverpool, Dex, I told you, what did I say in my predictions? Liverpool will make the top 4. So will we in the end. And I'll still say Arsenal will come out. Arsenal will come out of it. That's why.
Listen, look, we've got it's February. It's February.
Yeah.
We've got a transfer window. You can now sign players who've played in the competition as well, right?
Yeah.
So that gives more scope, right? So you could go out and buy someone who can make a difference, and it doesn't matter if he's already played in it because they can play for you as well. So anyway, right, Nick, I've got to go. Right?
Yeah, we all have to go. Thanks for.
Send me a link for the next one. Right?
Yeah, of course.
When are you doing it? When you doing it?
Huh?
When you doing it?
What?
When you doing the next one?
I don't know. And we got the City Wednesday.
Man City's Wednesday. So you've only got tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking we'll do a preview tomorrow or just leave it after the game.
Yeah, let me know.
I'm not
I've got to go, right?
Of course, you all will know. I always text it out and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going, Nick, because I need to call in nature.
Yeah, we're all going. Thanks for coming on, Stav, and you, Dex, as always. Both of you. Yeah, great panelists we had today. as always, I can't do the show without you panelists. And we're trying to move. It's got to take time still, but I'm doing everything I can to get this channel going. It's not easy because I am up by myself at the moment, and I don't know what's happened to Addy. He's disappeared for a few weeks now. So yeah. Anyway, yes, folks. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in today to the Blue Stand. Thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks all the panelists, and also all thanks you for you people who've been watching us. It means a lot. So please continue to subscribe and like our channel. It's appreciated so much. And thanks a lot. So it's time to go. We will see you soon on the next stream. Very, very, very soon. Thanks.